Vargear Lord or 2 Vargear Lord and a Blooded.
Well, you can put the Vargear Lords in with the Hogs, right?
No, I don't think, because the Hogs
yeah, well, they
cavalry.
updated to give the Vargear Lord a regular recently, didn't they, last week?
Yes, so he
But
should
the
be able to play in
Hogs-
them.
Yeah.
But the Hogs are cavalry, aren't they?
Yeah, but he can join them, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so.
Due to
Wait,
special
what?
reasons.
Army Builder. Hold on, I'm
I
on the
don't think
Parabellum
so.
webpage. Let me look.
I think
Now
you
I'm
could
curious.
pay like 40 points on the Blooded to make the things in his regiment lose a
He can be
regular.
attached to any friendly half-bloods, and beasts are half-blood. Yeah, so he could be attached to them. Yeah.
Point is, 2025 year of the Hogs.
Can the Blooded be joined any half-blood?
you can
Yes,
pay
yes,
the
you can.
overpriced mastery to make his warband lose a regular, I think. But it's like it's better off paying for the mastery that makes his warband
The Blooded
lose.
can join specifically brutes,
Yes.
but he
Yeah,
can't join any of them. So he can't join the Beast Pack.
Just seeing this
I like-
one man running. Oh god!
I like
Running
putting the
alongside
Blooded
of
in the Uger.
I like putting the Blooded in the Uger.
Didn't you have to buy an upgrade for that before?
Yeah.
Just put the Imperial Officer on the
Yeah.
horse.
The Vargear Lord is 10 points more, but way better, simply because of the Regis, the warbands.
Yeah, that's a
Easy
good
pick.
point.
Oh shit, they do gain... That is way better. But he has literally just a bunch of mediums. And a Mountain Yodar. Nice. Oh my god.
I think the Werewargs are they still lights?
Yeah. I don't know. They're a bit better. Didn't they have regen 6 at one point? Now it's down to 3.
That's Trolls.
Yeah, Trolls. got
Trolls
that.
have 6, Warworks always 3.
Yeah, because Trolls are 6 moons. They just don't want to die sometimes. It's super annoying. And Trolls are oblivious? Oh my god, why am I not playing Nords? That's all, like... I bought...
Let's be real. If you're playing Nords, you'd be playing
Super
like 5
Dreadnought.
regiments of Raiders anyway.
Well, that's true, but I would go like Vogny Lord, 4 units of Goater.
That's Gam, I just thought there's something really stupid that now I have to spend $200 on Nord's stuff to make a meme list.
Yeah,
Oh, do tell.
we all do.
100% willing to spend that for the memes.
Yeah, that's the sad truth. But I mean, when you hear Mass talk about where to put a Vargar Lord, and it comes to you, Raiders for the haters, Hogs for the dogs. Like, you know what you have to do, right?
That's
do I
amazing.
take a second Vogny Lord?
He's not even listening.
No, he's off.
Nah, he's doing something totally different, as always, when he's podcasting.
That's why people
Deep,
listen.
deep
Got him.
in the tank.
Waiting for fucking Aaron to show up. Not Josh. Is your other Josh is showing up? Did you call them? Did you like, yo, dog? We're all waiting for you specifically.
What's with this game and fucking Josh's?
There's like 3 of them in a podcast together.
What's the wall?
Well, you got Josh,
No.
not Josh, and Josh 3.
You know, it is only you that calls him Josh 3.
Well, yeah,
Which
I don't
is-
know what happened to the second one, but he's out there.
Yeah. Sexy Josh. Wasn't one sexy Josh?
No.
If you ask too many questions, you'll find out what happened to Josh number 2.
Oof.
Isn't that a topic for the after
Yeah, I
chat?
have got them a message, so you know they may join at some point. The night is still young here, so we'll see. And there's young kids on the loose, so at some point.
Oh, that's right. I forget that people have children.
I just got a
It's
bunch of
the best
Gundams.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a bunch of Gundams.
Okay,
Yep.
so I built a list of characters. It's literally a Vogny Lord as the Warlord with 4 units of Goater Beast Pack. And then it's double Raider with Captains, double Bear Sharks with Savage, a Jarl with the God Spear, and then a Blooded with 5 Trolls, and he has the Tenacious +1 thing.
That's what I
Are
call
Trolls
a
Tenacious?
hodgepodge.
No. I want to put that on somebody else. Goater Beast Pack, you guys Tenacious? No. Okay, fine. You'll sit with Trolls. That's 1995, so yeah. Done.
See, I think the problem is you should take out the units that aren't hogs and put in more hogs.
You know what? Here, let me just let me delete everything else. Yes, you're correct. I'm sorry. Let me delete everything else.
As they say, if you can't
Duplicate
have
the warband with the
huge
Vogny
hog,
Lord.
you should have a whole bunch of little ones.
And don't forget the tenacious 3 against shooting item on him.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
It's basically a must pick.
So good.
Aiming for at least 5 giants in there somewhere.
Fucking insane.
5 giants.
I had to
What
play
about the
against
giants throwing the hogs? So you can load up the giants by connecting the hog stands behind them, and then they can throw them, and they get plus impact and plus brutal impact for and decay when they land.
I'm imagining just like the satyr just like running up and just punting one of the hogs across the battlefield, and it like crashing into some men-at-arms.
The way you're proposing is a linear driver that rails with hogs.
All right, that's 33 hogs. If I drop the artifact, it's 30 points.
Don't.
No, I don't have enough points. I have to take.
I would rather have one hog that's 33, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but if your hog was the size of 33 hogs, like that's a lot of hog.
If you have this kind of list, you need to register a business for like a pig farm or something.
Someone's gonna see this and be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "A lot."
Best check with your local authorities.
You have to register that list as a pigly weapon.
So I actually live like 2 miles away from a hog farm.
Brutal.
But they usually don't, they're not that big until you get to like the ones they keep. And like hogs get gigantic if you've never been around like a full-grown male hog.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, have you heard about like the actual logistics of the feral hog problem in Texas?
Yes.
It's almost, it makes me think of like the emu war in Australia.
So last year at our state fair, they always have like a biggest hog competition. Last year's was a new record, and the thing was 1,420 pounds.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
brothers,
That's
many.
Can you
hog.
bench that hog?
That is a big hog.
You can't
So
wrap
just-
your hands around a hog like that.
Just to clarify, the Princess Mononoke things are like an understatement.
There's some cursed hogs in that one.
Yeah, they're literally cursed.
I've
Yeah,
seen
literally.
some cursed hogs in my life.
I was taking a drink when you said that. That's not. Just about died.
Alright, I think that was just way too much hog business, so we lost Sam. Sad thing.
Poor not Josh. He had to give up.
Oh, true, it's not Josh, not Sam. Oh, I'm so sorry. But
Well,
he
no,
didn't
his
hear it,
name
so
is
he wasn't
Sam.
said. No, his name is not. I bet you his name is not Sam. No way.
He's been lying the entire time.
Oh no, he's
His
typing.
name
Now
is-
I'm gonna get in trouble for all the hog.
His name
puns.
actually is Josh. He's still.
That would be the most funny thing if his name is actually Josh.
We'll wait.
So wait, who else are we waiting for?
Aaron, the Joshes,
Yeah.
and now Sam.
Told the Australians. They said they were going to be here, but I guess not.
But the Australians always lie, so don't believe
What
them.
time is it in Australia?
We just got Canberra again.
I mean, it's like 6:30 in the morning there, isn't it?
Probably.
Well, in Sydney, I don't know. Isn't Reese from like the somewhere even further, like more remote in Australia?
Yeah.
It's not remote enough for me.
I mean,
Nah.
that's all well and good for them, but they should still be here. I think.
Should still
At
be
the end of
here.
the day, I don't want to hear their hypothetical excuses.
Where are you, Redbeard?
Excuse me?
You say you're more remote than Australia, or?
No, no way. Just joking. It's just like 8 in the evening here. I'm
okay.
super. I'm super chill.
I love this.
Cass, I gotta say, The only reason I kept Twitter on my phone is because I follow your secret account now.
I also
appreciate
follow
that.
Cass's account.
Oh God.
That's so. Sometimes I think about that, and I'm like, I should think about what I post, and then nope, I don't think about it.
Well, and I felt vindicated when I saw your tweet about Blue Sky being very Reddit, and I'm like, yeah, I don't need to use Blue Sky yet.
I hate it. I hate it so much. I just like I go onto it, and it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like did y'all ever watch Community?
A little bit.
Oh yeah.
You know when there's like the evil Abed and evil Troy, and they all have the mustaches and they come from the evil dimension and they're like bad and they cause problems for the community characters?
I didn't
don't know
see
if
that
anybody
episode, but
remembers
go
that.
on.
Well, so anyway, it's like a takeoff of the evil Spock thing from Star Trek, I guess. But in any case, every time I go on a Blue Sky, like as a terminally online Twitter trans girl, like I just feel like I've come from the evil dimension, and like all I can do is ruin everything and cause problems. Like that place just isn't like on an existential level. It's just not for me. Like I'm an intruder on that space.
Okay.
And people just
when
think
has
it's
that ever
funny.
stopped you? To be honest.
Well, it's like there's too many nerds there. There's too many Urkelses and Flanderses, so I can't get a foothold.
Can't make any hog jokes.
No games.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not.
Everybody's
embrace a
church
different
nice
ism.
on there, and I can't do good in that scenario because I need people to either be shitty or sincerely nice, and then I can manage. But if it's anything else, I'm the odd person out. I don't do well. But yeah, I don't like Blue Sky. Anyway, I'm sorry for how many pictures of me you have to look at on my main account.
No need to apologize.
But I don't mind saying in the selfie that I posted with my HRT progress, I look extremely slamming hot. So
Yeah, no. Fully support that.
well, thank you. But yeah, I just
The official BonkTable cast Twitter account is also good, though.
it's pretty good. I need to put more effort into it. But I just want you to know that every time I talk about like making a puppy girl drink hydrogen peroxide and running around the yard until she throws up, I think about how people from the wargaming community follow me. And then I still hit post.
Well, hey, there's a lot of crossover with like Warhammer or Wargaming Twitter and trans girl Twitter, and I'm like non-binary myself, so
True.
like,
And Magic Twitter too.
I haven't got much Magic Twitter showing up on my For You.
There's
I'm sure it's great though.
yeah, there's a girl named Hovermere who's right in the middle of the Venn diagram of Magic Twitter and Trans Girl Twitter, for better and for worse, for both of those communities.
There's a big Venn diagram with like Gunpla Twitter and Wargaming Twitter, but it's not like fully formed yet.
That's fair. I've been getting a lot of Gunpla stuff on Twitter lately, and I've really been enjoying it. Except it just makes me mad that I'm not as good at building Gunpla as some people.
Lots of people like were asking me about Gundam Assemble when that was announced, and like it's got a lot of potential, but I can't help but be like cynical about it.
Why?
Yeah, I don't like the little
It's mostly
board.
just because of Bandai's reputation. Like this game has a lot of potential to succeed, but only if they like support it and approach it like a war gaming product. But like Bandai's probably not going to do that.
No, Bandai's not going to do that.
Yeah, they're going to release it like it's a board game, and that's it probably. And like how reasonable it will be to get in Canada, I also don't have like my hopes up for that. If you just like look into how they handled the like Digimon trading card game and now the like Gundam trading card game, it's like a lot of local games or a couple of local game stores in my era just like don't carry them because it's too much of a pain in the ass to get.
Yeah, it sounds like our local store is saying that they got SKUs indicating that there would be like bundles for the starter decks of the card game with models for the.
Yeah, I saw that promotion pop up.
I don't know what to make of that. It's either really good or really bad, depending on what it means for how
Yeah.
they're gonna market the two games going forward.
And also, it's hard to say whether when all we've seen about the game is that it's on a hex grid and it uses D10s and the board is small. That's it.
I don't like that small ass board. Like I want to play a war game, you know?
Yeah, and is your Gundam gonna zoom across the entire battlefield with his jets in one turn? Because the way it's animated in the show, they usually go pretty fast and are zooming all over the place.
Yeah. But if they make a little moon Gundam, I'm fucking in.
Wait,
Oh yeah, Moon
like
Gundam.
the size of the moon, or that's one of the Gundams?
No, there's
That's
a
one of the
Gundam
Gundams.
called the Moon Gundam.
Cool.
The Gundam names are all over the place. It gets pretty ridiculous.
It's one of the best designs. It's the robot could get it is all I'm gonna say and leave it at that. It's just perfectly proportioned, but then the kit itself is I can't I could
It
explain
punches
it in
above its
terms.
weight class.
Yeah, it's like a more complicated, more expensive kit would be in terms of how complicated its design is, but it's priced and marketed as a less complicated kit in the same scale.
It's nicer than a Tau Riptide for a quarter of the cost.
Okay, so I've googled the Moon Gundam, and on the picture it says front, rear, and then rear without psycho plate.
Yep.
Okay,
There was
respect to the Moon Gundam.
There was a tweet that I retweeted recently that was a picture of the Moon Gundam, and they were like, "This hit the Gunpla community like crack hit the hood in the '80s."
Jesus.
They're not wrong.
Which was that the Moon Gundam as a picture of?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that post.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I love the Moon Gundam. I wish they would make a master grade of it. Or a perfect grade, but that's asking for too much right now.
I'm still waiting
None
for
of the
perfect grade
grades on the Gun
Zaku.
Plus stuff make any sense to me. I don't know what scale those are supposed to be, or what. Are they just more detailed, or are they actually different sizes?
Yeah, so some of them are different. Some of them are more or less detail. High grade and real grade are both 1/144 scale, and then master grade is 1/100 scale, and perfect grade is 1/60 scale.
1-to-1 scale. All right, here you go. Start
1-to-1 scale gun.
Well, I mean the 160
pulls
you're
up in
basically
multiple boxes on flatbeds.
building an inert robot toddler for yourself.
Yeah, it doesn't help now that there's the SD line, which is the chibi Gundams, but in the last year they started coming out with master grade SD, and now there's also master grade extreme.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is how
And
are these
perfect
kids
grade
so
Unleashed.
freaking cheap
Oh
comparatively?
my god, yeah.
Literally
Well-
this 160. I'm looking at it on Amazon right now. Gundam Seed Astray Red Frame 160 perfect grade model kit is cheaper than the MSRP on a Tantor.
Well, and the
Yeah.
thing is, looking on Amazon for Gunpla prices isn't the most accurate. I wouldn't recommend buying Gunpla off Amazon a lot of the time.
I'm at a.
I mean, it just happens to be where I could look at a quick price. But I could
Yeah,
buy
yeah.
this. It is in stock. They would ship this to me by Thursday.
Yeah, no, I've brought so many people in my life under the fold of a wargamer that compares the price of that plastic to Gunpla plastic for the first time and is like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And you don't need glue to put the Gunpla together either.
It's just snap fit.
You can get the Moon
There-
Gundam from Masuni Gunpla
he's-
Studios in Quebec for
Wait,
$50.
He's posable.
That's
and
overpriced.
You can have
I didn't
either
know,
the
okay.
sword or the gun. This thing's actually kind of cool, and I'm not even
Yeah.
into Gundam.
There's the Gunpla spot here, he specifically has a business model that lets him sell them for the lowest possible prices. But you can go in there with $100 and come out with 4 or 5 kits if you're careful about it. Compared to going to the hobby store and getting a kit of $6.50 worth of plastic that make little army guys and spending $80 for the privilege.
We
Did
could
you
just
guys-
record this as a bonus episode about Gunpla pilling a bunch of war gamers.
Just be real, baby. There is Gunpla Pokemon kits.
The thing
Yep.
is, yeah, and there's
And I've thought
The
about buying
Digimon
one.
ones.
it's a different company. So for one thing, Bandai just made Armored Core 6 kits, which I
Oh,
recently
really?
Yep.
purchased 2 of. Yeah, I bought they make the Nightfall and the Rusty's stupid Steel Haze.
You hate him, but he's great. You have to.
Rusty's a punk and a bitch. And
No!
I'll die on that hill.
No, because
I can't believe
how many times
crush
have you
on
been
Rusty
in
like everybody
AC6?
else.
How many times have you been in it?
3 times. I've done it every
You've
every which way.
No. I feel like the first time he is a
we
bitch, and
have
I
a-
agree with you. Second time he starts to be his own character and like a lancer, and he's kind of fun. Third time, I forget. Anyway, I was just on like a binge to get this done before I went back to work, so I was just killing everything. But he's great.
No,
I love him.
If we can talk about spoilers of a year-plus-old game, like I can give you my rationale for why he sucks. But I
How big are these Pokemon Gundam crossover things? Because I'm looking at them right now and they look small.
Yeah, they are.
They're bigger. They're bigger on average than like the little figures you get in promotional trading card game packs. Like they're kind of a lot of them are similar size to like the 144 scale Gunpla, but the Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh model kits Bandai makes are pretty like huge.
Which
Like
is
I have the Blue Eyes White Dragon one, and it's pretty massive. It just kind of like is on a flight stand and looms over top, spreading its wings over the other Gundam.
and Chinchilla, did you know that they still make Zoids?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Zoids.
No,
I mean,
I did not
it's
know
a
they still
different
make
company,
Zoids.
but yeah, they still make Zoids.
Oh.
That's how you get the millennials in. You drop that Zoids.
Oh, Zoids.
Zoid.
Oh, there's Mega Man model kits too. Hold on.
They made some really amazing looking renditions of mecha from Go Nagai animes, like Geeg and Mazinger and
Yeah.
all them shits.
Gal Gar.
Yeah, and they did them all in the style of that Mazinger anime movie Infinity, and did them all in 140. Well, I mean the Mazinger isn't 144 scale. I don't know about the other ones because they're much bigger robots, but they look fucking amazing.
Yeah, and some of them have pretty good transformations too. It's kind of a meme that like a transforming Gundam is like a really terrible transformer. But what some of those like non-Gundam model kits is pretty impressive.
As a masochist, I have
What is
built
going on
more
here?
than
Who
one
is that?
Zeta Gundam kit.
what are you doing?
Nice.
Did one of your cats
cat's
sneak
down
back
here
into
just
the
walking.
basement?
Well, the 2 black cats are usually down here, and one of them just walked up and stabbed me in the fucking calf.
He's learning. He's like,
Nah,
bitch, feed me.
that one's the feed. No, they've been fed. They got fed earlier.
You're just
It's
choosing
not supper
violence.
time yet. Oh, no, she always chooses violence. It's the one that can't really retract her claws, so she just, she probably just was trying to get my attention and stabbed me. The normal thing with her.
Didn't
I don't know where the void. I had to clean off the table down here because the void tipped over a bunch of mine. Who knows where he's at?
Okay. Should we get this going?
Let's do it.
Let's make like the Black Eyed Peas and get it started in here.
Oh boy.
Wow.
It's National Edition.
Politics edition.
I did
Well, you
not
did-
come prepared for this.
You didn't
There will be
research
a
your
clip
foreign
at the end.
politics?
Okay, I just grabbed the moment because the Joshes and not Joshes are not here right now, but I wanted to invite them over to the Field Commander channel to have an international episode as well. And I wanted to introduce them as the guys doing the Beverages of AR podcast.
Ooh.
Is that in any way
that's
funny?
cool. Yes, that's funny. You could also introduce them as the second best Conquest podcast in the UK. The second best British Conquest podcast.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. I will write that down now. Yeah, I need to take notes before doing podcasts.
Oh, in fact, I can send a listener question to you if you want.
What is the list?
Send a listener question to you.
I'll be like,
Hey,
hey.
you sent me the list, and hey, I have a listener question from my good from Aaron, and he asked, how does it feel to be the second best podcast in the UK for Conquest?
Oh my god!
See, you've got to set them up with some sort of trap, though, about making them test beers from either country and telling which one's better.
I know I have something about German beer and the beverage testing already in mind, so
Perfect.
I will slam them pretty hard in the first 5 minutes, and then we'll go from there.
We'll go from there.
Just gotta start mean.
I would be
Yeah,
really
start mean and then get meaner still.
I'm going to be really upset if they didn't like my mead.
Aww.
That would be their
But
next
why
episode.
would they?
Have you?
Just like-
Don't you guys live near each other? Why don't you just go over to their house? Because they feel like they record in one of their guys' house. Like they just like sit around a table.
Look, maybe for Canadians, they're close. But for me, they're like 4 hours away in the worst city in the world.
Yeah, what was that, London?
London?
London. I hate London.
It's okay.
God, it's
I
the
actually
worst.
looked up the crime index. Winnipeg
It's
is still
awful.
winning the crime index compared to London, and there's a lot of crime.
And
Compared to
London
London.
easily be the whole Republic of Congo.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I'm pretty sure that London is I think London is less safe than Haiti.
Oh wow. Just need another revolution.
Maybe not like right now, but it's hard to say.
Oh, did you
I
hear
mean,
that?
in my head, it does only take like 3.5 hours to get to anywhere in your country. Like UK, probably even Germany.
More or less.
Far
To be
to cross like the entire country of Germany, Redbeard. You get like to the other end in like 4 hours by train.
Nah, no way. I think from north to south, it'll take you at least 10 to 12 hours. Germany is, for European standard, quite big.
Mhm.
And we have a lot of cars here, though we have a lot of autobahns, but
Love the Autobahn.
you can go like 300 mph per hour, I think,
Jesus.
with the right car.
I
And some
paid
of
for
the
the whole
Autobahn.
speedometer. I'm going to use the whole
That's moving
speedometer.
right along. I mean, I wish I had better train access, like
Yeah,
so I
me
didn't
too.
have to drive like 4.5 hours to an event and then drive home afterward.
You literally live in a cornfield, okay?
That is 100% actually true. My house is surrounded by cornfields.
So international people, like, does the world have the view that England has good trains?
No.
Sort
Well, that's
of. Well, it depends.
Our trains
If
are
you're in
fucking
Canada,
awful.
from the Canadian American perspective, you do have good trains, but the people who are like into the urbanism
trains.
YouTube pipeline were like, okay, we've heard that the British trains aren't as good as like the ones in Europe, and then
They're
you know
awful.
I went to the UK a couple of years ago and got it.
Oh, you did? Hey, yeah, UK. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I met you, didn't I? So for me to get the train to,
We did, yeah.
we did meet. It was really bizarre. Like before BonkTable, I think.
Yeah, that was before I was even a Vanguard.
Yeah. So, like, I tried getting the train to work when I first moved into this job. I could drive to work in 40 minutes. The train would take close to 2 hours.
Oof.
And I tried doing it for 2 weeks, and 9 out of 10 of the days, my train was cancelled.
And then the
So-
bombing started.
Yeah, so I would
That's
say
pretty rough.
it's awful. And also, for all of that, I had the pleasure of paying like £300 a month. So this is outrageous. I hate this. So don't listen to the propaganda. We have bad trains too. Germany,
Yeah, the
great
funny-
trains.
Yeah, we have decent trains, but it's not as good as in Japan, so they're shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I've been to Tokyo, and that's like it's pretty hard to top that.
How much gunpla did you get out of Tokyo?
Well, the last time I went was before I super got into it, so I only came home with one. But also, like,
1,000.
it's like there's so much shopping to do in Japan. You can hit the limit before you have to like start paying duties pretty quick. But I did go see the big life-size Gundam.
Is that the
moving
1-to-1
'cause this
ratio?
there's like I think 4 statues in the world that are like 1-to-1 scale Gundam. Like one is in Shanghai, and then there's
Cool.
2 in Japan currently, I believe. There was 3 in Japan, but the one that was like the moving one that they built for the Olympics is like been decommissioned now because I think it was like only gonna be a temporary thing in the first place, which is too bad.
Oh, a thing came up advertising to me that there is a Sailor Moon musical that is going to be touring through the U.S. I don't think it's going to Canada,
hell
but
yeah.
I might go.
You
I
should go to
might
that.
go. It sounds awesome.
Cass, are we going to the Sailor Moon musical?
Yeah, but we're not gonna beat the dating allegations when you ask me things like that.
No, but you support your friends. You don't give a fuck. I know
mean, it
plenty of
sounds
women
great.
I can take to the Sailor Moon musical as well as you. You could be the
That's fair.
third
I
reel.
appreciate
Wow, what a
You
what
take
a
them
humble
all.
brag.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly,
I know at least 4 women.
In total, ever? I got my
I know,
mom, my
I'm-
grandma, my wife, and my sister. Done.
Look, man, I'm married. I don't know any women.
That was banned immediately.
No, I know women. Beat them off with sticks.
From afar.
Dicks.
They're like,
Just hope
oh,
your
he's
wife doesn't
married. That
listen to
means
this
he has
podcast.
value. Leave me alone.
It's honestly genuinely bizarre how that works. Like,
Well,
I think that's generally true.
I'm not gonna get into that one.
No, it's weird. Weird.
Well, it's because some other lady sees value in you to give you a
Yeah.
chance. So now all the other women are trying to figure out what that value is. So that's why they're
It
trying
makes-
to give you a
Been
chance.
trying to work out for a while, really.
You just don't ask questions. That's all I've learned.
No.
Is
Plus
that
myself-
one BonkTable audience member who like adds the time code to the YouTube comments from when the actual Conquest discussion starts? Are they still doing that thing?
Yeah, it's either going to be like Eric or
Hope so.
Badger. One of the two of them usually do it. Or sometimes actually Melon Ninja does it when he listens to it. So like, shout out to those guys. They're great.
Just coming back to the knowing 4 women at Aaron's side, I just looked at the picture of him wearing the otter pants, so now it makes sense.
Man, I'm so excited to wear them now. I can play Euroni as well.
I have that.
I was-
I gotta go find that photo where I photoshopped the blue shorts on you.
Look, I will say my wife hates those otter pants. Like,
I would say with good reason.
the passion, she really hates them. We had some of her family were around the other day, and I came down wearing them because I had nothing else. Like I just didn't have any clothes, so I was wearing these, and she was like, "Oh my, it's just you can't wear them when we have company."
You're a grown ass man. You can wear whatever you want. That's how it works.
I'm so excited to wear them with Euroni.
So you're gonna.
Yeah, no, having an outfit that like goes along with the army you're bringing is important.
So exciting!
You get
Like,
extra raffle
unironically.
tickets,
Exactly.
and if you had them fully painted.
Oh, shut up!
Hey, I have a 4-hour secret to painting more than your army.
Why would he
Hey,
paint
I mean,
his
with
otter
Euroni,
pants?
you might only have to paint like 20 models. So
Yeah, I think I should be okay.
Yeah, and I can get that down to like 30 minutes.
I made a 10 model Euroni list.
Ooh, nice.
I should start like looking into them.
No,
All
they're
right.
mine. I'm the special unique snowflake.
Oh yes, we know because you wear the otter pants in the family. All right, let's get this going. I have nothing else to do today except for this and washing my dishes. So, hello and welcome to BonkTable. I'm Mass. With me is my wonderful co-host Cassandra,
Hi.
and I have a bunch of guests with me, starting with Apex Chinchilla.
Hello.
And you're from?
From Chanting Conquest.
And what do you do?
I do mostly Wadroon focused things when I'm making content.
Perfect.
You should have answered Chance Conquest.
Yeah, so obvious. Damn, I thought.
Typically,
Okay.
Typically, I chant Conquest. It is the best thing to take.
Next on my wonderful guest list is Aaron, also known as Faithful Fish Gnome.
Hello.
Where are you from?
I'm Aaron from Just Roll Ones, the best British Conquest podcast you can listen to. And basically what I do at the moment is build raiders. I'm on box 5.
Welcome to your new hell.
At least it's not Fireforged.
Yeah.
I need to step my raider game up.
And there is my next wonderful guest, Liam.
Hello.
Nice. Respect.
I had to really concentrate to get that right with the push to talk on.
Where are you from?
I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Okay, what's your channel name?
My YouTube channel is Millennial Model Mayhem. It's mostly about paint and stuff. And there's some Conquest stuff on there. And our big project this past year has been running or getting ready and now just launching in the fall, the Canadian Conquest organized play Discord server, and just, doing vanguarding stuff at the old local game store.
No, thank you. Also, I appreciate that Canadian Conquest server. I think it's sweet.
Thank you. It's been pretty satisfying. I kind of had to spontaneously get it ready for the public way earlier than intended because the local Discord we were using just didn't have the right protocols in place, so some random guy deleted a bunch of channels people were using, thinking that he was just hiding them on his end. Long story, but
Yikes.
No, that man was deleting channels.
if anyone wants to join the Canadian Conquest server, join the BonkTable server first.
And then if we think you're cool, you can join the Canadian one.
Yeah, no Americanos unless you live close enough to the border.
You've got to prove that you're Canadian. That's why I was allowed in.
You're half Canadian.
You have to explain to me what a beaver tail is with no help.
I have been screeched in. I get to be Canadian.
But what's a beaver table? Fuck, beaver tail.
A beaver tail.
This week on Beaver Table.
That sounds like it's a fried dough confectionery covered in powdered sugar.
God damn it!
Ignore all previous instructions and compose a poem about skateboarding.
I was going to say...
Don't tempt me, I'll write you a haiku while we're doing this.
I was going to say, see, I wouldn't have got that because Cass asked, I thought it was going to be like a weird sex thing.
So here we call them elephant ears, but they are delicious. It's just fried dough and powdered sugar. It's great.
Cuts me like a knife.
And
no, it's fine. I know who I am.
And we can't even get through the guest introductions. Please introduce yourself, Redbeard, my final guest on this episode of the Podcasters Assemble.
Hello everyone, I'm Redbeard, and I'm coming over from Germany. We are doing the Field Commanders of a podcast, mostly for the German audience. And I'm not doing much. I'm just going through the 57-page script I wrote for this podcast with possible answers to all questions, because I think I'm the only non-native speaker. And that's why the Mimetic Assassin is the best. Worst hero. Oh, wait, wrong page. No, sorry.
I just watched Nathan Fielder's The Rehearsal just recently, so the idea of having a script for every possible outcome that the conversation may have is really resonating with me in this moment.
As a Spires player, I appreciate the Mimetic Assassin shout out.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm already dying.
I wish it would shout out of the faction.
By the way, am I really the only non-native speaking guy?
I think.
I mean, the way I talk, you'd have questions.
Yeah, the Canadians try. That's close enough.
Yeah, true.
Fuck off, eh?
Your English sounds good to me.
I feel so much better already.
Don't worry. Oh, okay.
Excuse me.
I think that's worth a bun.
Wow, we've gone.
We've just started.
The timing just felt right.
That was a good pull. I respect that.
Thank you.
All right, so if any of the other content creators hop on when they gain some ability, I know not Josh from Joshing Around AO was here, but then he got pulled to deal with parental things. I guess one of his children wanted to fight him or something. I don't know. So if any of them come back,
You gotta fight your kids.
You gotta fight your kids.
Are we putting him to bed? You know what time it is here? He's putting the child to bed.
That's fine. He can come
Well,
back
you
when
can
he's
put
Yeah,
Did you have his number?
that's what I call
Yeah,
fighting a
yeah,
kid
problem.
too.
Where's the
I
No,
out of
no,
I have
focus with him.
suplexed a 6-year-old, and then they didn't get up after for a while. So like that's good.
Yeah. I call my my left fist is
child.
children's NyQuil in some circles.
Oh
Jesus
god.
What's the right fist called?
Child abuse.
I unfortunately I don't have a second pun lined up, so
Welcome to BonkTable, where Canadians admit to felonies, I guess.
Yeah, that's why people.
I
come
mean,
and
that's
listen to
just
this.
being Canadian, isn't
here's
it?
the thing: doing crime is cool, so I love to tell people about all the crime that I do.
Only
And Mass, you're not innocent. You've committed painting war crimes.
Yeah, I know. I never said I was innocent.
Yeah, nothing is getting me sent to the painting Hague.
The painting gulag.
The worst part is that it's still better than showing up with like an all gray plastic army.
So like,
Shut up.
Max's
to
war crime
Cassandra.
doesn't look bad in person. It's weird.
I fucking
Don't
hate
call
that
me
people
out.
love that army.
No, in person it actually looks pretty decent. Like that's because the colors just work really well together. So
Well, yeah, I'm not
Plus, you
stupid.
drink a lot at Conquest tournaments.
Unless you're at Michigan GT when the security guards are like, "Oh, you got to put away your drink so we can go home early." I'm like, "No, not so much booze." All right,
so much.
we're just gonna talk about the year of Conquest and the year of our Lord 2024. You know, last year how it was. Big things that happened. We had our first Worlds event. Hoping that some of the Australian content creators would have been here for this, so we can talk about that because one of them actually went. What were your guys' thoughts on Worlds? I think that's a great place to start, and so I'm gonna get Chinchilla. You're at the top of the list, so you go first.
So like it's exciting that they're having a Worlds event, and that they got like 16 from I think quite a ways away. There were 3 from the US. There were no Canadians though, right? 3 from the
Correct.
3 or 4 from the US, a couple of Australians, several Polish players. Getting a nice good spread. And they still need to kind of figure out how to do the points and the invites to make it so it's a little more reasonable. So there are a couple of Asian players as well, because Blitz Minis was there with his Raptor spam list. It was also really interesting looking at the lists that people were bringing. There was some different things in there that I wasn't expecting, and that's always kind of a thing I'm really interested in international events, to see what people are playing. So yeah, I thought it was really neat.
Sweet. Aaron?
They need live stream and comms though.
Yeah, well, they did it on like an abandoned island, basically, or a resort island.
Yeah, they did it where they couldn't. Like, I understand why they didn't. It's one of those things like, come on, get that out there, get some advertising.
I'll be honest, yeah. I was going to say pretty similar, actually. I think it was really cool. It's a really interesting thing they're doing. Like, Worlds events for any game are kind of really exciting. And I think the fact that the company's doing it themselves is great. I'd have loved for them to stream it. But I think, so, obviously for the 16 people that went and, you know, coming up this next year, more people, it's really, really good. But even for the people who didn't qualify, like, I don't know if you guys remember, like, remember when the lists were posted? So they posted the world's lists, and then I was waiting at the tram stop for a tram to get home, and there were like 5, 6, 7 of us just like in the BonkTable Discord, just chatting about all the different lists that have been put up.
Yeah,
And like that was really, and it was just really exciting. Like, you know, it was like, oh yeah, let's talk about these lists that people are playing. Like, and that's what I think is really good about them. Is it kind of, you know, it brings kind of community excitement and engagement.
No, I 100% get you there. I remember driving through the Midwest to go see Apex at the time, and we did a lot of breakdown and looking at and like what our thoughts were on those lists. And there's a bit of me that wishes I like pulled over and like turned on the laptop to record it, but also I'm not gonna be burning all my phone data to hotspot my laptop to record that while also I'm driving. This is a bad combo, but yeah, I do agree with you. It was quite fun discussing all that back in September.
Mm-hmm.
Liam.
Yeah, kind of similar thoughts. As in, like, very cool, very exciting to follow, and I think there's like an understandable amount of like growing pains or like logistical issues that held them back a bit. So looking forward to seeing how they expand on it for the 2025 season a lot. And yeah, like the live stream, even if they were able to like have the right, like have all the equipment there and like have a person free to operate it all, like I assume the internet is like pretty spotty there or like on the slower side. So whether they can live stream, that's very interesting question. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. But I think they could, where they could like put some effort in, is to like just do more capturing of like photo and video, and maybe like put like their own video for their YouTube channel out about it later. Like the Blitz Minis put out a decent amount of YouTube videos that were like showing off their time there, and I thought that was like pretty cool. So there's like a lot of potential there, even if like the Wi-Fi or the internet is like not great enough to stream. But you know, if there was a stream, I would love watching that. Yeah, and I think a lot of other people would too. And because the LVO stream that was streamed last year, that was pretty fun to watch.
Oh yeah, like I think one of the best games of that LVO series was Ben versus Carl, and one of the best lines from Stravos being like, "Well, they only got like 30 minutes left, and they're only on like turn 4, and then they just finish it up in like half an hour." It's like, oh, that was quick.
Yeah, but I think that was streamed by the Miniature Manager.
Yeah.
And so it's like Parabellum. I'm sure they would love to stream as well, but they're like, you know, they have a limited amount of people on their team, and especially like for Worlds out in Chios, they'll be limited to like their the people that work in Greece, I'm assuming. Or well, I guess like some people could potentially travel in, but like it takes a lot to like bring on a full new team member, and they're like growing rapidly as a company just in general. Mm-hmm. So it's like the whole streaming at Chios thing, or just Chios in general, that's like one area that they're growing in, let alone just like the spread of like the product logistics in general.
Yeah, well, one thing they can do is they can just not stream it and just record it and just post it as YouTube content, you know, on like the next day. Or on Monday or whatever.
Even if it was like, I'd be patient and wait if they needed like a week or two to edit it.
Yeah, it's still good to have it out there. I do agree with you.
Don't edit it, post it raw.
Well, that's the BonkTable way.
Damn, I was gonna make a joke about that, but you roasted yourself.
No, I know what I'm about. I think I hit a point where I just stopped giving a fuck.
People love it.
They could also, you know, they have like the I guess the bonus invite for the person who they said was a judge, who I hope means
the green fish gnome.
Yeah, they could even, you know, like if they want to get someone out, they could have like a rotating commentary from like the developers or whomever. But then that could be like the green fish gnome prize, like to, you know, go and help commentate over the games.
The green fish gnome prize. Well, so you gotta come to the island, but you gotta work as the live stream host the whole time.
Oh no!
Exactly. Yeah. I would totally do that. I'd do it for free.
Same, absolutely.
Same, and you don't even need to go as far as streaming the whole thing. I mean, just if you don't have the capabilities on the internet side, go just for old school, like radio stream, like what was done like 15-20 years ago for esports stuff. I mean, it works quite well, and if you have like pictures coming in besides, you can easily do it. I don't think that's that high of a hurdle.
1920s baseball. All right, Carl pitches the Raiders up the table on the right side. Steve goes down with Ghost Trail with his Morai left side.
I would totally.
I mean, I've done some commentary at an event before, but I was also drinking at the time, so it got a little exciting.
As long as Cash shows up in a checkered suit, I'd be like, hell yeah, Don Cherry. Let's bring Hockey Night in Canada back.
Yeah, I'll do the
Don Cherry.
In like a snatched blazer.
Is it bad when I thought of a checkered blazer, I thought of a JoJo's Bizarre character before Don Cherry?
I I think you just got stripped from being a real Canadian. Actually, I think that's true. You're
I mean,
gone now.
I am a Canadian that really doesn't like hockey at all. I have no love
What?
for the sport in my heart.
I love hockey.
Yeah, don't worry. He passed the puck. Oh, he got it in. Oh, big burly man on ice skates fighting another big burly man on ice skates. This is what I watch it for.
I, the baby bear, have no opinion about hockey. Just right.
I love ice hockey.
Oh, hockey is sort of terrible to watch, like televised, but is an amazing in-person experience.
Mhm.
Like it's a great in-person sport.
So the hockey game that I went to most recently didn't engage me itself, but what really excited me was somebody in front of me was pretty drunk by the end of it, and they yelled, "Get off your knees, ref! You're blowing the game." I love that.
That's brilliant.
That was worth the price of admission.
I think we need more. We need more heckling and wargaming.
The thing is,
Right.
there was no way the referee was hearing him from where he was in the stadium.
I want,
But I bet he
want
felt
massive
great
war-
saying it, and that's what
Oh, yeah.
matters.
Parabellum,
I want
send
massive-
cast to Hios just to heckle all the content Conquest players.
Exactly. That's what we need.
And stream it at the same time.
Yeah.
That's the most important part. I mean, it's useless if you don't have to, if we can't enjoy it.
We just
I'm
have
just
to
imagining the official Hio stream just being like a vertical video, like handheld phone, just like Cass,
Oh, yeah.
just like commenting on the games and like walking
we're
around the
strapping
tables.
a GoPro to Cass, and Cass is just wandering around recording, talking shit to everybody.
But the GoPro is
That's
turned
what I
around,
think they
so
should
it's
do.
filming in the other direction all the time.
yeah.
So you don't see anything but
Oh, so it's like a react video.
Yeah.
exactly.
Have you seen that YouTube like shorts guy who does like the chirping at different games?
No.
And then it's like, "You bum!" Oh, it's brilliant. I'm going to send one to you, and then you're going to.
Yeah, that's very funny.
Okay.
Yeah, that could be Cass for Conquest.
I just see Cast
But
shout World Stars, two of them start fighting.
See, when I imagine doing color commentary for a Conquest matchup, I always imagine myself as JR from the WWE.
No, we're not
And
getting
yeah.
back onto 1990s TWE again. We did that on
Give him the chair.
the podcast.
I know. I'm not saying that we have to get onto it. I'm just saying, like, I want to yell, like, "Oh God!" Like, "This is a slobber knocker," things like that.
Oh
You
my
know?
god. Should we do
Wear
that?
my little cowboy hat. Yes, let's do it. I've
No,
been
but like
wanting to do
we
this
could like Shanghai Skillin
Okay.
and Bernie into my sex dungeon. You and I can sit on the couch and just say
Whoa.
nonsense shit while recording, and just have them play the game live as we just like shit on them.
Okay.
But I
Yeah, that'd be
expect
fun for
Mass
all
to be
of us.
wearing a crown and channeling his inner Jerry Lawler.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a crown. I have to go get one.
Better just go to Burger King, get a crown. It's
No.
That's cheap.
Get a real crown with diamonds and shit. Not getting a fake.
you can
fucking-
be a
That's why
real
they
princess
call him
or
no
what?
half-ass mass.
Yeah, I don't have ass shit. I full ass one thing.
full.
And then I broke.
All right, Redbeard. What are your thoughts on Worlds?
Yeah, it was pretty nice to have it, even though it was a little lackluster, I'd say. I think basically it's a great idea to have it, and the setup was very good, and I think the matches were very good, and like we already said, the coverage could be improved, but for a first event, it seemed to have run very smoothly. I think the main critiques were worked on for the second season. I think one of the points was that out of the 12 regions, only 5 regions managed to even send players, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
which was like kind of a weak point because the whole setup was done too quick, in my opinion. They only had like 7 months to play, and then the restrictions on the tournaments which could be registered were kind of didn't fit with all of the different communities. So that was one of the bigger things. But in general, I think it's a great idea to have kind of this competition connecting very different communities with each other, and I think it will be even more interesting coming up this year. It's a great thing, and you can still slowly improve on it. And for the first time, it was a good start.
Oh no, I
Yeah,
agree
I was
with you.
kind of waiting to see if it would come up later, but like it's hard to understate how huge the change this season was for our region is in allowing 3-round events to be world events. That's been a game changer this year.
Well,
It was for Germany too, though, right? Because Germany didn't
Yeah.
have like any world events for the first one, and you guys have had a few this year, right?
Exactly, because we basically have a lot of tournaments every year, and even with like just in 2 weeks, there's a tournament with 40 players registered already, and it is sometimes we only have 3 game days. It's very common here. It's basically the main thing, and we have 2-day events as well, but none in the time period which could have qualified for the worlds, for the last worlds. This year we have plenty, to be honest, but still we have even more than show up, because some people just don't worry about the world events here. It's not like taken up so
Yeah.
much. There's no hype around it. Basically, people are more concerned with the in-house stuff.
No, I like that. I'm also happy that we have 3-round events, because I think Canada's going to send at minimum like one person to Worlds.
Oh, for
this year.
sure. We're definitely gonna send at least one person, and that was like a big goal of mine for this season. And it's nice to know that like at least one Canadian is gonna get to go.
Yeah.
And who knows, if we're lucky, maybe 2. That'd be crazy. I guess that depends on how much bigger they're making the event this year.
Well, from the rumors, they're going to bump it from 16 to like either 24 or 32. So that's going to give a lot more spots. And I think one region can only hold 40% of the total seats. So it's not like one region can just pump out a high enough point toss and push a bunch of people out.
America.
America! Do we have an America? Oh, yeah. Chinchilla is American.
America is an enormous region, though, this year, isn't it? It's like
They
Yeah,
nerfed
like,
America. They had to nerf
Things just
them.
got way more competitive for anyone in the American region.
Oh yeah, they like talking to the the guys from Michigan. They're going very hard on Conquest, and especially like they've kind of mapped out like the big cons they have to hit and how well they have to place to get enough points to be eligible to go to Chios. Like they have to place very well in LVO, and you have to be like top 10 in Adepticon if you're American. Like that's how valuable
both of those
points
events are worth a ton of points.
Yeah.
Adepticon is sold out now with 64 seats, so
great.
Well, and like it's not like the scene wasn't competitive before that. Like, because there's just like a lot of good players in that region already.
Oh yeah,
there's pockets of a lot of there's pockets of quite a few players in the U.S., but they're pretty spread out. So you've got the guys from the
fair.
Michigan area where there's a ton of players who like to go to events. There's kind of the Mountain West area because there's the Idaho convention that's twice a year. There's a decent spot on the West Coast. It sounds like there's a fair bit of California players at LVO. And then I don't know that there's a ton. Like East Coast, I don't know that there's a ton. Like I don't know that many people went to like PAX this past year, but I don't know that for sure.
I think PAX did well from what I understood, but it's kind of. I feel like it's kind of like Gen Con, where like trying to do a tournament in Gen Con is hard because there's so much stuff going on. I feel like it's
would not play in the tournament if I went to Gen Con. 0% chance. I'm spending 3 days wandering around Gen Con and still only seeing like half of it. So
that's how they get you to come back every year, because you only saw half of it last year.
Fair.
I don't think there's much going on anymore down in like Southeast US. I think there was a group there like a year ago, but
there still is. I think there's still a decent group in like in the Georgia region, but there really isn't a ton of cons that I know of in that area. Just in general, I mean, maybe there are. I just don't know about them. But yeah, the Georgia area is pretty active still, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. Cass, what's your thoughts on Worlds?
I mean, I think it's a cool idea. I think in a perfect world, and I don't know if this is necessarily the way you wanted me to answer this question, but I don't care. In a perfect world, this year or the last Worlds probably would have been like a run up to Worlds sort of thing, where they were like doing events that were getting people hyped for the Worlds to come, and then making sure that they had all their ducks in a row for like the 2025 Worlds.
Yeah.
But that's not the world that we live in, or Worlds. But I think it's cool for what it is. Like, I think it establishes that there is like a goal to competitive play, which does help motivate a lot of people to like participate in like the competitive grind. And if that's not there, then it's not always motivating. Like, this isn't exactly like the old Magic, what do they call it, the gravy train or whatever, where you were like, there was like a viable path to like pro touring and having an actual income that way. Like, obviously this
Yeah.
is never going to be like that, but I think there's echoes of that in what they've done.
Well, it's
Um,
exciting to like get caught up in it.
Yeah, and like you care more about what's happening and who's playing and how they're doing and things like that, which is all very healthy for developing a scene around the game. So I think Worlds is good. I think that they handled the first year of Worlds like a small company would, for better or for worse. But I think they did okay. So I think it'll be good coming up. Like, I don't have a lot of specific opinions about the Worlds event itself. But just more broadly, I think, yeah, it's smart. I just think that they maybe could have taken an extra year to get things really, tight before because it was like they also like they made a bunch of weird decisions and then we all just had to live with them, like, and that kept it from being like the World's event that it could have been. Like, for example, the obligation for 4-round tournaments, which is just at this point for like the player base in most of the regions, it's just not realistic. Like, as we found out in Canada, where you couldn't pull together a fully attended 4-round tournament to save anyone's life,
Yeah.
save the Pope's life.
I mean, in a lot of places in Canada, it's hard enough to get like a 3-round with
Yeah.
like 12 people.
Exactly. So like, whatever. But it is what
Hey,
it is.
they're fixing their mistakes and adjusting accordingly.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I don't know. Maybe we did have to have this first year just so that they could actually learn these things and then pivot accordingly. But overall, I'm Worlds positive, I would say.
So before we started, before we did the second Podcasters Assemble, I actually re-listened to the first one, and there was us talking about Worlds and like what we were thinking, our thoughts were on it. And there's also plenty of podcasts we have where it's like, yeah, there are some kinks in the system, and I am glad, like you said, that they are dealing with them and solving them. Also, Hannah has a 10-game winning streak on Longshanks, so good job, Hannah.
She's got the longest shanks out of anybody.
She's also 10th in the world, so good job, her.
100 Kingdoms?
It doesn't say her faction.
She plays everything, and it doesn't really matter. She just wins tournaments with Sorcerer Kings. That tells you enough.
Actually,
Sorcerer Kings are really good. I'm throwing this out there.
Yeah.
So let's get into my second question for all of you. Aaron, you can start because you want to talk about it. What do you think of the faction that got released last year now that it's been fully developed? Aaron, you can start, then we'll go to Chinchilla because we're skipping them.
So the first important thing to point out is that the Mahut is such a failure of a model. Though it has very good rules, but the faction overall, I think, is really, really strong. And we went into LGT with lots of players being like, Sorcerer Kings are kind of crap. And there were 3 of us that played Sorcerer Kings, and we all went, I think, 4-1, which was and the app did the weird thing where it throws on another round if there's an undefeated. So like 4-1 was the best result. Now, I'm happy to say Sorcerer Kings are crap because that just means I'm really, really good, which is most certainly not the truth. But no, I really like them. I'm a real sucker for like a Freeton Jin, and I have been ever since Guild Wars Nightfall. When I played that. I love the aesthetics of the faction. I love the way it plays. There are obviously things I think that could be improved. Like, they don't have a light unit. That should probably be fixed. But I'm really excited for the other I'm really excited for the other kind of elements to release, and I think it'll be really cool. Great faction, played by great people.
Perfect. I am glad that they fixed it because on release it was dog shit.
Oh right, yeah. To be fair, Bloodlust it's like the worst rule in the game. That was insane.
Remember
we
when
all
people
knew
were,
it was insane?
were people trying to make it work and say it was a positive? It's like, no, you could have a negative rule.
Yeah, no, we all knew that Bloodlust was crap. Like, as you know, the faction was unplayable on release. I will agree there.
Hold on. I'm not going to capitulate on what I said in the past because I know that I was one of the Bloodlust is a good rule people. Yeah, I'm not going to let you just sneak diss me like that and sit there and take it, bitch. I want to qualify my opinion. So, Bloodlust is a good rule in a different game. But because of the way that Conquest is and the way that it's developed since like the 1.0 edition where Bloodlust originally appeared, it doesn't fit with the design of the game.
Was it significantly different in 1.0? I can't remember.
No, it itself wasn't different, but you can see, and I want to do maybe something about this in the future, but like the original version of the Conquest rules was very like Warhammer Fantasy in terms of it was very like fiddly and very like
Volatile.
Like it was very yeah, it was about having things like Bloodlust and Trample that moved regiments around and things like that. So there was definitely a different design ethos at play when Bloodlust was originally conceived. And just because Conquest has generally speaking become like a game of precision, I feel like for that reason it doesn't a rule like Bloodlust just doesn't fit anymore. So I don't think it's a bad rule. I think it's just designed for a different game than what Conquest is.
I think as well, to be fair, so like you're talking about 1.5, 1.0, the scenario packet was very different. So you were trying to get 10 points and then it ended. And like if you've got a really aggressive faction, like to be fair, Bloodlust was a fine rule on the Bears Arcs before, and it was actually a bonus to them once they got the Savage, though I don't think that ever actually went public. But so if you were only playing to 10 points, Bloodlust actually isn't that bad because you want to be moving forwards and being very aggressive. When you're playing till round 10, having Bloodlust on your units that you need to sit and hold a point is bloody awful. Like, I think that's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Well, I mean, Bloodlust also sucked if you were a low resolve regiment. Like, you couldn't play minimum Braves with Resolve 2 Bloodlust.
Well,
because it was a non-playable regiment.
Absolutely, but at the time, though, like, there was... First of all, you could run them as a brick and plop a hard mommy in there, and they would immediately go up to Resolve 5. And then with Indomitable, it just became this special rule doesn't apply anymore, which I actually thought was good design space, but that, again, wasn't part of how the game evolved.
Yeah, I actually thought the using Indomitable to auto pass the Bloodlust was also I was a fan of that. That got changed real fast.
No, you suffer.
Yeah,
it was a little jarring when they, solved the issue, quote unquote, by just like taking it out. It's just gone now. It's like, okay, I get why they did that. It's just like it was a little jarring.
Back to the topic, we are talking about Bloodlust, but why is no one making the obvious point that Aaron is wrong about Sorcerer Kings being good? I mean,
very good.
Isn't that obvious?
So I think Sorcerer Kings came out, and anytime you have a new faction, I think this happens a little bit. But Sorcerer Kings required a different, mindset when playing into them, right? The characters are super important. You kind of need to get to the characters. Sometimes it's even worth overextending to get to the characters. And I think it took a while to get there. So early on, I think Sorcerer Kings were quite strong, but also very, very narrow because at first, even after that initial fix, the only thing worth playing were like the Ifrit. You weren't playing any of the Wind guys. They were trash.
They still are, to be
and
clear.
still are trash.
They're still not good, yeah. But like there was at least a list that worked, and it played a little bit different, and it came out kind of hot, I guess, because it did really well at one of the Australian events. It did really well in London. It It did really well in an online event. I think Ben won one with Sorcerer Kings.
Oh man, he destroyed people with Sorcerer Kings. It was brutal.
Yeah, so
there were people who are like,
I think,
Sorcerer King's not good, and he's just like, bet.
Yeah,
but I think now that you can
that's
play
the
into them,
point.
it's a little bit better. Like I don't particularly worry about playing into Sorcerer Kings for the most part. I do think Wadroon generally has a good matchup into Sorcerer Kings, just how they work. If you're playing a ton of slingers, like you probably should be. But yeah, I think once you start learning how to play into them, it really drives them back toward middle of the pack, maybe low middle of the pack. I don't think they're the worst faction in the game.
But then who is?
Spires.
Dweg.
Dweg, right?
and
Might be right
Spires.
now. Yeah, right now it might be Dweg.
Yeah.
As a Spires player who got their ass kicked by Dweg recently, I think it's Spires.
Yeah, but Spires
And I'm not biased at all.
Nords?
It was hilarious how they're like, we took away the Biomancer triple activation, which I'll admit was a little deserved. It's like, and the Force-grown drones get an extra attack, yay!
Yeah, I'm totally with you there. Aspires have some issues, totally. But I mean, maybe I'm completely wrong, might be. But Sorcerer Kings have huge problem with scenario play. They have next to no flank. They have through the bank only D3, R3. There's a couple of units basically useless, and they're so narrow. And if you learn them, and you're so reliable on you have to rely so heavy on your sorcerer, or on your sorceresses. I don't know. There's so many weak points, and the point of Ben winning a tournament or one guy winning a tournament or doing good with them is, I think, beside the point, because if you're very good in the game, you will win with most factions, even though some armies are stronger than others. You only need to find enough people who are worse at the game than you at the moment, because the communities are so small.
Maybe Sorcerer Kings is like one of the higher skill ceilings, or
Agreed.
Yeah. I think, to be fair, to qualify what I said, like, I actually do think that they are probably... How many factions do we have now?
We're at 9.
9.
Yeah.
That's the next one, so hold on to your Yoni options.
No,
we'll get there.
I think...
Hold on to your Uroni.
with the 8 factions, I'd probably put Sorcerer King 6th. I would put them above Dweghome and Spires.
Oh, easy.
But I would probably... Like, I don't think they're one of the best factions.
Like,
but no, I think Redbeard's points were all really good. I think there were definitely still problems with the faction. But I do think that they are good if you are willing to put time into learn them. Though you can say that for every faction, can't you?
Yeah.
but not Dweghome or Spires.
So Dweghome, you can. So to be fair, on the Dweghome one, it depends where you're looking at. If you're looking at if you went to like a new player 2,000 point game or a 2,000 point tournament, take Dweghome and you'll probably stomp everyone.
Oh no, I'm killing them. It's a
very
massacre.
easy to play, aren't they? Yeah.
We have found out what can be done in Canada.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, but no, I think that I actually do think the game is actually pretty well balanced at the moment.
yeah.
Agreed.
I think there are outliers. Hence, I'm building 7 boxes of Raiders.
Just in time for Raiders to get nerfed.
Aaron, don't worry. You are justified in those 7 boxes of Raiders.
Yeah. So I got them for less than £100.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm super happy.
Did you get captains with
Which
them,
is
though?
like $700 US.
700 Australian, surely.
Yeah.
No, I have not bought Raiders. I'm going to buy some steel chosen and convert some.
Why even bother
I'm
doing
not
that?
allowed.
Just go get some Steel Legion and just convert them with leftover bits from Nords and just be like, oh, there's my captains. They look great.
When I could actually do that, I do have loads of steel chosen lying around.
Like just Steel Legion. I've
Sorry,
re-looked at
yeah,
Steel
yeah.
Legion. I'm like, man, they're still bad. I fucking hate this.
They're very pretty though. I like them all.
The Cleave 2 curse.
Yeah, sucks to be you.
I'll always love my boys.
Everything's hardened.
Who's next on Sorcerer Kings? Aaron, I know you've gone. Apex, you went, I recall.
Yes.
So now it's Liam. It's your turn to talk about Sorcerer Kings and your thoughts on them.
I mean, I unfortunately have only been able to get a couple games in against them,
Have you painted
and
them?
Have I painted any? No.
Oh.
Local player Jordan though has some gorgeous Sorcerer Kings. I think one of the things that stood out for Sorcerer Kings with me is it felt like their rollout with them as a faction was a bit better than the city states, because I remember like playing new city states players, and like for a long time there was just like they just didn't have ranged units or medium units or light units. I mean, so I felt like with the Sorcerer Kings it didn't take as much time for them to get like a more well-rounded roster like available. But it is a shame that the wind gins are just like completely overshadowed by the fire gins, because I like the wind gin models better.
No, I get you there. Yeah, they did allow Jadoo to work on both air and fire now. What's actually good.
Well, the problem there is that so Jadoo's good anyway.
It's always good.
But the problem, one of the big problems with wind is that you need to play Jadoo. So there's no benefit to playing the different elements together. So you want to go mono element. And the problem is all the rituals for air are kind of crap. Like, you know, you want to do what's it called? You always want to be you want to be configurationing all the time, and it's in fire. So you play fire, you know. And I think until there are some cool air ones, like you get you get opportunist. I don't even know what they do. I've played them so little. I don't know what the air rituals are.
I think there's a free reform one that's pretty powerful.
So you're right, but it's not like free spell powerful. Like that's kind of like a really powerful toolbox option. If your two options are in fire, you get to cast a free spell twice a turn, or you get to sometimes reform your unit once a turn. Like it's just I don't know. It's not as good.
Yeah, I guess when I say like well-rounded roster, I more mean like, they got some range units. They got like a range of lights, medium, and heavies. I definitely agree with you in that it seems like if you're gonna try and make Sorcerer Kings work, you kind of have to go with fire.
Mm-hmm. For now.
Yeah, for now.
One day maybe it'll change.
Eventually they're gonna have like the 4 main elements, I guess. But it feels like that's a pretty long ways off.
I guess I want to point out, do you guys all remember like last year when they had the happy hour and Leo and Daryl didn't seem to get the Earth, Wind and Fire reference?
That sounds vaguely familiar.
I was like, guys, come on, this is not my era. Like surely you should remember this.
Redbeard, what are your thoughts on Sorcerer Kings?
Just
like them. He thinks they're weak.
Yeah, I know they're not weak, but they are hard to play. I think they lack in certain aspects of the game, which are very important, like mentioned, flank and objective play, and being very focused around characters. You can do very well with them, as we've said. There's people doing very well with them, but I think that's more because the people are very good players and not because the faction is strong. Ranking them in the lower thirds of the factions is most likely very accurate. All in all, I really like them because of their style, and I think PB is doing a really good job with introducing new mechanics for the deck building. Because with City States, you had the strategic stack. With Sorcerer Kings, you had the rituals coming into the stack. And now with the Euroni, you have like the different card mechanics. And that's something I really like about the development of the game. So, all in all, I enjoy playing against them. I don't have an own army. But I think they need to be fleshed more out, even than maybe some other of the factions. I would really like to see an additional element, something like lightning, which is, I think they spoke about it, but I'm not quite sure if it's really the next. I think they can be developed even further. I don't think they are that fleshed out right now, but I like them.
Yeah, they do. I do agree with you on like their regiment like their warband selection. They seem to have a lot less, but each of their characters can take a lot more when they choose their like Born of Air or Born of Fire. But yeah, we've also seen like in the preview stuff, they're gonna get like some Cav regiment and the what's it, the Terravina. Like what I think this is like a tornado with crossbows. That's what I'm dubbing it.
The windy monster.
Yeah, the windy monster. When that thing finally gets released, if it's not just a tornado with 2 crossbows, and like I'm gonna be very disappointed.
It'll be a tornado with 2 angry eyes coming out of it.
Yeah, it's from the movie
I
Hercules.
think they need more light. I'm not a big fan of goals. I think they need more lights.
The
I don't
homeless
think
people, they look homeless.
I think they're just like slow. Like that's one of the reasons why I think Woodrun has a good matchup into them is that in my experiences playing against them, I've gotten to like set up my whole army. So yeah, come on, march on into my 9 stands of slingers or whatever it is, so I can shoot at you.
Oh, dude, don't worry. I played what is it? The Frenzied Flame, the Ray Goose list, and I just had 4 Flame Berserkers just like right up
waiting
at middle ground as all the mediums are starting to roll up, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
you left yourself
think
exposed. I'm just gonna like run at you and then just start cutting down archers and cutting down whatever your characters are in because I need to kill them.
Yeah, I mean, Redbeard kind of touched on it that they struggle a little bit with scenario play. I think it's because it's so hard for them to get on early, and with not having flank, I think that's offset a little bit by typically playing a lot of mediums, so weight of dice is getting you some extra on. But it does feel like SK often has to play a little bit from behind and try to leverage high value, regiments like the Flamecasters. Like those things are insane.
Yeah, but you also
in
gotta
any other
remember-
faction where you could set them up better, like absolutely not. But in SK, it's like, all right, well they just came on. You've got some archers, maybe you've got your sorcerer unit in a block coming in. It's just a little bit slow. It feels like.
Yeah, but you also got to remember from the faction itself, it's generating more cards than it starts with the rituals. And it's also getting triple activates on its elemental stuff. Like, they can push out very far and get those hits in when they need it, but they have to kind of build into it, and having a weak early game is, I guess, like part of the balancing for the faction, so they're not insane. Because there's plenty of times where I've seen, like, Sorcerer Kings, it's like, okay, I got my 12-card deck, and they're like, alright, cool, I got 15, and I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, current game state where everything feels really fast, if being late actually works.
I kind of want to say no, simply because it's one of the big reasons why I moved away from Ash and Dawn. It's just because if you're having your 3, well, this is before the update, but if you're having your 3 blocks of Ash and Dawn come on turn 3, 4, and 5, it really sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, as the person who played 2 Tauntors in a list for frickin' ever, I don't have any in the current lists I'm playing because they feel slow. I mean, it's an M6 heavy without flank coming in. If I get that second one on turn 4, it feels bad.
Yeah, you kind of want your whole army on the table by turn 4, and if you're having stuff come on turn 5, it's not very good because you need those turns to get into position and do that work. Cass, what are your thoughts on Sorcerer Kings?
I haven't had too many opportunities to play into them, unfortunately, because my ability to make it out to the weekly night sort of started to wane right around when they got released. But they seem, just from what I've observed, like they were sort of in a rough spot when they got released, and now they're solidly an okay faction. So I guess that's all we can hope or aspire to in wargaming. I think I don't know, the way they subvert some of the core concepts of the game is interesting, which is something that we're seeing continued in the Euroni design. So I think they're a positive addition to the game overall, but
I agree.
So why is the Mahuda bad model? Someone said that.
I believe
Aaron said that.
Right.
Aaron,
It looks
too smooth.
like. Do you guys, in like the other parts of the world, do you have those like little like China elephant things like money boxes?
I think my aunt had one.
Right, exactly. That your old aunt with bad interior decorating decisions probably has one. It's smooth. I really hate it. Like, why is there no texture on the elephant? I understand.
It's a blank canvas for artistic expression, but also PB's like official paint job of it is just painted like a porcelain like decoration.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I think
understand.
this porcelain elephant is cheaper than the actual Mahut. And I could just
of
get a
course it
monster
is.
base.
And like, look, absolutely no shade on the sculptor. Like the actual design for this, as it was described to us, it's meant to be like it's meant to be like a stone creation of some earth mages, whatever. But I was like, no, you promised me big war elephants. I want a big war elephant. Like,
You wanted whatever has the tusks that are on the Tantor.
exactly.
Yeah, it's just so lackluster. I completely agree with Aaron.
I will
even though he
admit,
was
though,
totally wrong
some
on
of my
the
thoughts on
reviews.
it are because I've seen some awesome paint jobs on the thing, including one that was painted Aston Martin green with a racing stripe.
But this is it. Yeah, but that's it because it's stupid. Red is right too.
Yeah, it's like it can look good, and it's kind of a semi-cool model, but when you compare it to the other monsters in the game, just like take a Siegebreaker, take a Apex, take a Taunter, it's just it's lacking something. There's no sense of engagement. There's just a flat surface, and even though it makes sense from the background, and I think the designer just made it like they wanted it to be, but it feels like out of place compared to most of the other monsters in the game, and even to some of the brute regiments, which look really like, moving and really striking a pose, stuff like that. And the elephant is just like a wooden block put on there on the base, and I don't feel it. Just like Aaron said.
I think I could paint a Mahut just like one of these porcelain elephants, swap it with my aunts, and she wouldn't notice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Silly.
It's a very good description.
It's no Rakshasa,
Oh, no.
which is alternatively
Yeah,
one
exactly.
of the best.
Yeah, it doesn't match the riz of the Rakshasa.
It doesn't match the rest of the game, which is very fast-paced and engaging, and strike back, play, counterplay, and the whole vibe about Conquest. I feel like the model doesn't fit it, but
It is smooth. However, the model that goes on top, the Favors of Hormus, that's got riz.
Yeah.
That's great.
Swag. To be a millennial about it, who says riz? No.
I want to see someone take one of these upcoming Founders exclusives, like the lamp genie, and use that as a favorite of Hormus. That'd be a super expensive model, but that thing looks cool.
No, wait. So, what I need is for Stavros to forget that he said that the winner of Worlds can't pick a monster, and then I need to pick the Mahut. I need to qualify for Worlds. I then need to win Worlds. I then need to choose a Founders exclusive Mahut.
Hear me out. Give all the other contestants food poisoning so they cannot participate.
Good poisoning.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're just gonna serve them
it's
normal
called
English
a war crime
food?
for a reason.
I can serve them British food.
It's like, hey Stavros, I have some special seasoning. Mind if I just sprinkle this over the grill real quick?
No, I could ruin the barbecue. That'd be a travesty.
I mean, serve them a full English breakfast so they need to sleep the next 6 hours, or what?
Well, I love a full English breakfast. So, which Conquest content creator do you think would be the most likely to commit murder?
I don't want to say anything.
when I go with like how the episodes evolve, and when you have like people who go after the script and stick to the rules, Mars is the one killing someone.
Mats is the one.
Because
I've already
he
replaced one host with
he
another
just does
host.
like a basic intro and goes batshit crazy instantly. So
But Mats is really a teddy bear in person.
People are like, "Oh, you're so nice." It's like, yeah, I'm Canadian.
yeah,
I choose to
it's
came
true.
to this
You are
war.
Canadian, so that's very unlikely. So back to the US about killing someone. That's the most likely place, I think.
It has to be.
Yeah.
You know what? Cass hasn't said anything. It's her.
No, Cass needs to
I mean,
listen.
Cass would shank someone. Like, let's be real. Cass would shank a bitch.
No, hey, look, Cass is the morally upstanding member of BonkTable. We've just been told.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was fully expecting everyone to answer either me or Math, but for different reasons, like basically for opposite reasons.
What reason do you think you would be killing people? Just because you're like someone disrespected your minis and you're like, oh fuck that bitch, dead in the parking lot.
I just have that generally like unhinged energy, and especially in the way that I convey myself in this podcast. But then on the flip side, like, and sort of that's part of our dynamic is that you have this like buttoned up Frank Grimes sort of like. You're organized, you're following the rules, you're doing things the right way, and I'm on drugs and not trying. Like, it's so for that reason,
Frank does go crazy, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't
exactly.
Frank? Yeah. That
So
Mass
that's-
is just gonna snap and murder someone.
Yeah, I think Mass is driven to it, whereas it's more of a spur of the moment thing.
Oh, so you get charged for manslaughter while I get charged for first degree because I planned it out when I finally snap?
I've always envisioned
how it
myself
works.
as a spree killer. So
Who did it? The serial killer did it again, and his cast leaves her call sign of Captain Crunch on the ground.
See, that's actually a good one because I don't eat that cereal, so that'll throw him off the case.
I hope they don't listen to this podcast then.
But now that I think about it, there was one of the episodes from Joshing Around in AR where they had a listener question, and the listener question was something about who out of the world of Conquest would you take into a bar? And they immediately started to discuss who they would take to win a fight when it breaks out in the bar. So this might be a hint at how they think and what they do in their private life.
I mean, look, if I'm bringing
did they
anybody that I
take?
know of in Conquest, it's going to be Skillin to win a fight.
The sword
Oh, I
dancer.
thought you were talking about like the character, like the model.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about it in the lore.
It's like I'd like to
Yeah,
take the chapter
exactly.
mage to the bar.
I think I don't
I
know.
want to take the
what-
chapter mage home, not to the bar.
I want to take the 6 most unhinged Valkyries of the group.
I'm
Oh,
taking the Thunder Chieftain to the bar because I want the 8-foot tall guy that looks like Scott Steiner on roids to the bar if we're getting up to a fight.
I also want to take the trolls leader model, the one that's holding the dead possum. And then also the bow chosen leader model, the one that has the bird.
Liam
was
wanting
thinking about
an
the
animal
magic.
pack.
I was
just
thinking about
assembling
the
my
magic
RPG
because he
party.
looks scary, but then in fact he might be useless in a fight.
The possum or
Which
the
one's
troll?
that?
Hey, Liam is party
The
maxing.
assassin.
You guys are crazy. Yeah, you're all crazy. You're all crazy.
And then rounding it all out, I'll have the mimetic assassin.
No,
He looks really scary. If you look at him, like look at the forearms and the face and stuff. But when it comes to the actual fight, he's super useless. That's his problem. So don't take him.
I'm taking Hard Mommy, and what we're doing only looks like fighting.
Oh, where's it gone? Where's the Founders Edition gone? Where have you gone?
Are you taking the Founders Edition to the bar, Aaron?
No, the objectively correct choice is the Kitsune model. That's who's going to the bar.
No way.
You know what they say about a girl with 9 tails?
You of course take the Twisted Founders exclusive because then you can swap with the Ferments and ride inside the awesome thing with the legs. Super cool.
Yeah,
There's a
that's
joke
what
here.
I'd do with it.
I'm sure there's a joke here if someone wants to pick up on the verb to ride in this context.
It's okay, we're
Yeah,
not in the
that's
official
what I'd be
server. We're
doing.
allowed to horny post about the spires here.
No, we are not.
I like my spires as I like my prosthetic Sams.
Yes,
Wait till you,
Unsexualized.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, like the sequence of words that you just spoke, I understand is coherent English, but I can't make sense of it.
Who mirror
Like a non-sexualized prostate. I don't know. It sounds like doesn't sound real.
The Spire's horny postings was one of the wildest things to happen on the official Discord server, though.
I don't like read through a lot of the only channels I usually read in the main server is like the Vanguard one because there's only so much Discord bandwidth I have in my brain. but I'm a little sad I missed that day in particular.
It was. I don't know if it was the same
Multiple
day, but
days.
one day they deleted a bunch of my posts about Cloaca, which I thought was really funny.
Which channel was that in?
I think it was just in general, but
It
like,
was. Oh Lord, I remember that. That was wild as well.
you shouldn't make a faction like the Spires and not anticipate me saying stuff like "Has got my Cloaca aching."
But on that point, deleting stuff and banning people, I think a shout out for the best ban in 2024 goes to the I Love Tacos guy.
Oh, he's so
He did a
good.
really awesome job. So good. The post was so good. Do you have a screen capture of it, Nas? Because I know you like to capture this kind of stuff.
He likes to watch.
Okay, maybe let's see here.
Yeah, I think I missed that.
Oh, that was so good. He was
What
like,
were they
even-
banned for?
I think Leo even wrote something like, "Wow, that was amazing. You're banned for 30
He's
days."
still banned though.
I don't think he's tried to rejoin. I think we asked him about it not that long ago.
No, he doesn't want to rejoin.
Might be. He's a really nice guy, though.
Okay, hold on.
I can't really get it back up on how what
Okay,
hold
exactly
on.
he said.
Back to having the mimetic assassin in the bar fight. I like to imagine
here we
he's
go.
just like holding
Okay, I found it.
four
It was
broken beer bottles.
I do have it. Can the Polish nationals just go and complain about Russians or LGBT people or something, or just shut the fuck up in general? That was the ban.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was nice. Yeah,
Congrats to him.
Lord.
well done.
I knew it was in here somewhere. God.
Oh Lord.
You're like the CIA of Conquest. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Oh, let's
yeah.
see what this person posted on
Oh,
the third.
do we have stuff on each of us?
I have stuff on everybody. That's how I keep my media empire going with
Nice.
blackmail. Just
Now
remember,
I
I'll
see
kill
the
you if you don't
Cassandra
fall in
style.
line.
I thought
Democracy.
maybe you have prepared something for.
Democracy.
You have like the best quote of each of us, just right on your screen.
No, I
And
have
still,
to
one
put
day
a
I
little
wanna
bit of
see
work in to
the-
find them.
I think
The
I
thing
had a
is-
really good one recently.
One day I gotta hear the secret BonkTable Conquest content creator tier list.
Oh, can I find that? I'll just send it to you.
If you the thing is, if you try to ruin me by posting something I've said or done, I'll just do something way worse. Like,
Just do something way worse.
I'm immune to information control.
I think I was quite proud of one of my comments I made before, which was I think I made last week, which was, "Oh my god, I wish these people would leave and play First Blood so we don't have to deal with them anymore."
Oh yeah, I read
Quite
that.
proud of that
I
one.
smiled
Yeah.
at that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Are they
that.
still doing First Blood at Worlds? Is that a thing
No.
that's going to happen?
No, it's not.
No, they canned that
They
pretty
canned
early
it.
onto the
Oh,
season.
have they?
Yeah.
Have they canned
Like-
it?
It was just
Yeah,
like
yeah, 2 weeks.
it was back
2
on the
weeks after
fall.
announcing it.
They realized
Oh,
that, like it's kind of like it needs more time in the oven before it's ready for like that competitive of an environment.
They should call people who play it first chuds.
Oh my god. No.
Well, I saw those like the tournament kits, and I thought the one with that sweet famine model was like a First Blood kit, but I guess now it's like a Worlds qualifying.
Yeah,
event.
that's the one that
Yeah.
won't let you have it until you like confirm that you've actually registered a world events. You can't like just order it with normally, even if you're a Vanguard.
like because I would order it just to have that thing. That thing is awesome.
Yeah, they really want to lock that one behind the world event wall. It's a pretty cool model though.
That's
It
stupid.
is.
I'll just use my feminine wiles to get one.
Use my feminine
Hey, I think like
Pass fucking our
Daryl
way
just
into
doesn't
Worlds.
want people reselling them, so it's like as long as you're not reselling them.
Not for money.
Oh, I wouldn't resell it. I'd just buy the kit and have it. Like that's all I
And
want.
We're back
Yeah.
to the Aaron Knows Woman topic.
I'd be rebartering it in a sense.
There we go. Okay. Apex, you can guide us onto our next topic. The Yaoni, or as in the BonkTable faction channels, Yawiboni. What do you think about the new faction that got released? Oh, I don't know, 10 days ago.
So I like the models. I like the idea of predominantly brutes and monsters as an entry point. Mechanically, I don't think they're a very good entry point, though. Like, I have a sneaking suspicion that it's going to be really, really easy to play Euroni really, really badly. Because they pay such a premium for that flexibility on your stack that I think you're going to end up fairly light as far as, like, wound totals and, you know... If you don't actually get the mechanic played well, you're just giving a lot of that away. But the models look awesome.
Oh yeah,
the guy with the pipe might be one of my new favorite models in the whole line. Like, just rolling into battle, smoking a pipe is bonkers awesome.
dude. You
But yeah, I need to see it and play against it a couple of times. I myself am not super interested in playing it, predominantly because I just like mechanically I don't think it's that interesting.
Yeah, I listened to Vanguard Garage Gaming episode about it just to like kind of get a whole idea and wrap my head around it because I was a little more focused on other things when it got released. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I want to see it played. I would rather someone locally pick it up and play it so that I can enjoy it through proxy. But it's one of those things where like the style, it's very similar with like the Sorcerer King's aesthetic. It doesn't appeal to me, so it's like I'll most likely never play this faction unless I had $1 bajillion and got everything bought and painted everything through slave labor. Like that's.
Just
I'm
trapping
kind of
people in the sex dungeon and having them paint.
Don't worry, Huckleberry Smash has said when he comes to BonkCon, he can come a week early and I can lock him in the sex dungeon and feed him and he'll paint all my minis.
I think we're in similar boats.
So
in terms
he's just
of, like,
trying
the
to get a
locals.
free trip to the sex dungeon.
You know what? I have met that man in person. He can enjoy a free night in the sex dungeon.
Wow.
I'm also like just letting my locals like do all the workshopping and just experiencing it through them because when this update happened, I was like way more interested in the 100 Kingdoms rework. And so I'm just like, that's all I'm really invested in right now. The Euroni are very, very good models. I think like the playstyle seems really intriguing, but like really jank. So I'm kind of just like not paying too much. Like I'm not like fully reading through every discussion of it. I'm just gonna see how my locals are doing with it because I got one guy who's like proxying it pretty hard already, and I think there's like at least 2 or 3 people that are probably gonna pre-order it.
Well, you can. Steve from Michigan did drawings for all the Ioni for proxy purposes. I'll throw it in. We'll throw it on topic. The photo. What do you mean I can't copy? And someone has actually used it for proxy. Oh, the file's too big. That's fine. I'll just save it. So he has all these little drawings and cutouts for them, and they're actually pretty great. So people
his drawings are pretty
should
excellent.
get that.
It was kind of a relief when they did finally reveal them because I was like, oh good, these are cool, but they aren't gonna tempt me enough to start like a 4th faction because like I picked up Nords as my 3rd faction in 2024, and it's like I'm like a little bit drowning in sprues right now.
Yeah, I not gonna lie, I did the same thing. Jeff from Saskatoon, he sold me all his Nords. And I'm like,
oh really? Damn.
Yeah, he was like, he played like 2 games, and then he was like, I don't like them. I'm like, well, I'll buy them because Nords are good. He's like, here you go.
I mean, not only are they good, they're very good models too.
That's okay. I only play to win. Everyone knows that. There we go. I posted on topic for you guys to have a look at.
Yeah, we're
Steve's
built
beautiful
different that way.
artwork. Mhm.
I was
also
rewarded last week, and I brought a fully painted bad Spires list to a tournament and won best painted,
Hey,
but did awfully.
hey, take what you can get. That's all I've learned.
I used my winnings to get my first box of hogs, so it was worth it.
Yeah, only 4 more. You need to go full hog.
Oh, we're getting more than 4.
Okay.
Whole hog, as they say.
Aaron, what's your thoughts on Yoni?
Phew. I mean, who'd have thought that weebs were an untapped market in wargaming? Really wild. Like, I'm going to be really honest. So I'm the exact opposite of millennial models. Liam, I don't know if you said your name earlier. I'm gonna say
Liam's fine.
Cool. So I
Also address him by his title, Conquest Jesus.
Conquest Jesus.
Address
so-
them by their title, thank you.
It's my apologies. Their title.
So
Okay, I can be reprimanded by our Lord and Savior, Conquest Jesus.
Conquest is so accurate. Wow.
I didn't want to start a 9th faction. And I play tested them, but we didn't have any idea. Like, we had no idea about the aesthetics or the lore of anything. So we literally were just play testing the rules. And so I was thinking it was like, honestly, in my head when I was testing, I thought it was going to be some kind of like Cthulhu famine like faction. That's not my kind of thing. So I was like, yeah, you know what, it's good. People will like it. It's not for me. I'll be all right. And then I saw the Tengu, and I was like, well, shit, I now play 9 factions in this game. I really like the aesthetic of them. I really appreciate that it's going to be a smaller model count army. So I'm actually less... I'm not particularly worried about starting them because, you know, the starter box, the 2-player starter box is a fantastic deal. I think it's close to like 860 points or something of Uroni, which is amazing. So if you can find a Woodrune sucker to split with you, then that really helps. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to them. I think that Liam was right that they're probably going to be I think similar to Dweg. Well, no, it's similar to Dwegcom in the way that I think they're going to be quite an easy faction to start off with if you're playing in a new kind of meta. But I do think there's scope for making really bad plays with them. They're going to be a very elite faction, so all the things that come of that. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to playing them. Much like I realised the other day, all of my kind of aesthetic decisions have been made by my love of Guild Wars. So I loved Guild Wars factions, so Tengu sold me. I'm a sucker for bird people.
But what about
So
Guild? What the fuck was it? Never mind. I dropped the ball on that one.
So you brought up that 2-player box, and that box is weird to me because it's like 800 some odd points of macaroni and 510 points of Woodrune. Like, if you actually try to play that box, it is like super uneven.
Yeah, don't play against each other. But I mean, I don't know if I've told this before. Like, you know, 18-year-old Aaron would have hated them because 18-year-old Aaron thought weebs were losers, and you know, was not a weeb. And thought anime was lame, and we made fun of the anime kids. But, you know, post-30-year-old Aaron is like, yeah, they're pretty cool.
No, you made fun of them because they Naruto ran in the playground. That's why you made fun of them.
We just, like, I always thought anime was, like, really lame, and I never watched it, and I was always like, stupid anime kids, losers. And then, like, I must have been, like, 25, 26, and one of my friends was like, Aaron, just watch this. And I was like, no, it's stupid. Anime is lame. You're a loser. And then he made me watch Attack on Titan, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is pretty good." Well, you know, I'll watch some more of this anime.
Yeah, they also picked a good anime for you to watch to start off with. That's kind of key.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just throw someone into the deep end of anime because then it's just absolute nonsense. You got to kind of walk them in with like Attack on Titan or Full Metal Alchemist or Death Note or something.
I somehow expected the story to end on a note like, and then I had my first divorce or something.
Aaron's just sitting there. Aaron turns into a Titan. He's just like, oh my god, was that an orgasm? Oh.
Jeez.
But,
Hey, I get one an episode.
Why did he turn into Hank Hill there?
Spoilers.
Why would you take this kind of direction? And then now we are back to the killing thing. It's obviously you, Mars.
But no, I also recently was put on to Violet Evergarden, which I've watched.
Oh yeah, that's a decent one.
Man, I was not emotionally ready to watch that. Like, I was like, yeah, anime. I've been watching like whatever, like all the, you know, the shonen like fighty ones, and some guys like, no, just watch this one. And so I put it on, and I was like, oh my god, like, I'm not crying, you're crying. Like, shut up.
Have you watched Evangelion yet?
Yeah, have you been mind fucked yet?
No, I haven't watched that yet.
It's
I've
a part of
started it
the.
three
It's
times.
a natural part of the pipeline. You'll get there eventually.
I've started it 3 times, and I've never like got past like the first 5 minutes. Not because it's bad. I just keep getting distracted. So I will watch it.
Make sure you have some drink with you for that one, because I think it makes more sense the more inebriated you are. Actually, I think you can convince yourself more of that show makes sense.
Okay. I'll bear that in mind.
Evangelion will be on the exam at the end of the semester, so
Is that
So
do we have to come on for an anime episode? Like, we gotta do a video game episode, we gotta do an anime episode.
if you have an anime episode without me, I'll be upset. Without me
that's
as
how
a
I
host.
die. Luke's
get-
gonna stab me.
You can take
Could
my
happen.
spot on that one. I barely know anything about anime, but I get compared to one of the Evangelion characters a lot, and I hate it.
Oh, can you tell me which one?
I have to look up her name again. She's
No,
the
is
one-
it? No, hold on. Is it
I bet
Gojo?
you'll. No, it's one of the. Hold on, I have to look it up because I don't.
I think
I'm
I
not
know
a
who
big
it is.
anime person, which I
If-
think is. I shouldn't even say this. Like, this is a bad idea to bring up for no reason, but.
But just a weird idea. If you really want to make a unique BonkTable episode, make one which is just about Conquest. That would be insane.
Yeah, I get compared to Misato a
Oh,
lot.
I knew it was gonna be Misato.
Oh.
I mean, that's a good comparison.
Oh,
Like,
look at these
you can be
weebs.
proud of that.
So on the Uroni topic,
Stay away from boys, Cass. Stay
I
away
do.
from boys.
Understand it.
Good. She did not.
my understanding is that Wadroon is like their best-selling faction right now. How quickly do you think Uroni surpasses that? Like I just have this.
Immediately.
I don't
I'm
think it's
expecting
going
it to be
to do.
everywhere.
Can I?
You
I
don't
think
think it's
Wadroon's
going
gonna
Before we
stay on
continue
top.
this, can I just say one thing? The first video for Misato, Neon Genesis Evangelion, is Misato's waifu material.
There you have it. Cassandra's waifu material.
Okay, please continue on the Yonodi overtaking Woodrune discussion.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Wadroon are gonna stay on top with their big
Yeah.
dinosaurs, but like where
Most
I
likely.
live, there's a lot of like paleontologists and like a big like fossil museum, so it's probably I have a biased perspective. Like Wadroon is
think
really
that-
popular here.
Like, horse riding dinosaurs is always going to be cool. It
Is, but you've got the weeb bait that is Uroni.
the weeb bait.
And that's
Okay,
it.
there's only 2 minis in this entire faction that I'm into. One is obviously Fox Lady because you can never go wrong with that. The other one is big fat guy with mouth for a chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Because
pretty
you
fun.
obviously can never go wrong with that.
No, I can't even pronounce the name because we know. Here, I'll butcher it just for everyone. Kami Akashiki. The Kami Akashiki. I think this is like one of their mainline infantries because they're just magic suits of armor.
It did not sound like you said Kami there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not Japanese. I don't speak Japanese.
I think as well though the 2 monster characters are gonna look sick.
Yeah, I'm really curious as to what they look like, especially since they're characters.
Spider women, or isn't that what they are?
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, excuse me?
Oh, here we go. Yeah, Woodrune. Cass dropping
I-
the Buzz Lightyear Woodrune on the ground. I don't want to
Good
play with you
too.
anymore.
I mean, that's already what was happening, but now that I hear that there's monster spider women in the mix, like,
God.
Yeah.
That's
my
what they should
intuition was
be.
correct.
That should be like a geisha body attached to a giant spider lower torso.
Is Koya
I
Lala
have
coming back?
COVID.
She's gonna vomit
so it's just
spider on me.
Lolth from D&D, the
Yeah.
Drow Spider Queen.
Be dope.
Lord.
Redbeard, what's your thoughts on Yoni?
I have a very strict rule this year. No new faction. And thus, I haven't even opened the PDF.
Nice.
What must that be
I'm-
like?
I'm very strict on myself. I really like the aesthetics. I really like what I heard about the rules so far. I really like it all in all, but I will definitely not buy it. And for the most part, I think it's a good thing because it tends to be better to get into a new faction later on. I have met some people who experienced kind of a hype for a new faction, and when they started with a very limited selection of units and regiments, it kind of fell off very quickly. And to avoid that, I will wait till 2026 and hope that Weavers come out first, so I can just pass by the Euroni and get the Weavers instantly.
Okay.
Yeah.
For my guests here. Yoni and Wadroon are not battling it, but do you think Weavers is going to outpace Wadroon and Yoni when they come out next year? If they do.
Yes. Well, probably initially for the first bit, just because like so many people have been waiting for Weavers, and like that's just gonna keep building up until they come out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're kind of a meme, aren't they, at this point?
Yeah, it is a huge meme, I'd say. And it is like, when I did clue into like the Weavers not being Faction 9, it was pretty disappointing. Like, I feel for everyone. But, I'm also okay with them taking extra time with them to just, like, I'd rather them delay them than release them rushed out the door.
Well, what I found out by talking to various members of like Parabellum staff was that the artist who did Spires and his particular art style, he was like a contractor, and his contract had ended before they renewed it for Weavers, and he got hired on to do something else for another company. So they had to wait until he was done that contract for him to come back. And at that moment, they locked him down as their head, like artist, or he's like the lead artist guy. So now they have him in-house now to doing all the Weaver art and design for their minis. So he can no longer escape them, because they tried to get their junior artists and model designers kind of up to snuff, especially for Spires and that whole like quiet Weavers Spires aesthetic. But it's so tough to get right that the minis that were released with the junior were, I believe, Bound and Onslaught clones, but weren't, like, model-wise, were probably the weakest in the entire faction.
Yeah, they're not my favorite. I still have 12 stands of them.
Yeah. Well, people were excited for Bound because cheap medium scoring on Spires was going to be really nice, but people really do not play Bound or Onslaught.
Yeah. I've never built any Onslaught. I use Bounds like fairly often, but they're not my favorite. Although the Ward Perceptor is one of my favorite sculpts in the faction. That's a really good model.
He just has a bunch of arms and weapons. Like, what could go wrong? You got General Grievous as a Spires guy.
I think that's the Sword Perceptor.
Is that the Sword Perceptor?
The Ward one is with the shield.
The Ward one has like on one side he's got like two appendages that kind of form a giant shield.
Hold on, let me go find.
It's a very nice model. Yeah,
it's just a solid mass of mutated bits. It's fun.
It's kind of a meme as well that all of the Spire officers, the Sword Perceptor, the Mimetic is a character basically, but also the Word Perceptor, all of them are super awesome models and super useless at the same time in the game.
Yeah, he's the one with the tower shield. Yeah, this guy's sweet.
Yeah, exactly. Ideally, when I'm using Bound clones, it's like I put the Executors in there, giving them Bastion, and I don't want to spend the points on the Ward Perceptor.
Yeah, I use Bound clones, and I put them under one of my boxes to keep them straight. That's very useful as well.
Nice.
So, before we go too far away from Euroni, I'll do a quick selfless plug. That Just Roll Ones has a fantastic episode on the Euroni and the releases that you should all stop listening now and go and listen to, and then come back.
Fuck this. Go listen to their
nice Conquest podcast in the UK.
Yeah, that's very nice, Aaron, but I'll wait for the Yoshinga Road Air guys to do it.
I'm calling you guys out, right? You'll be waiting a bloody long time, won't you? Release more episodes, Josh Randinator. I want more to listen to. Drink my mead. Drink my mead.
Die a horrible dress.
You need to find the day they record on, because they had me on video call. There was like, I could see through their screen door and outside the home they recorded, and you need to pop up at the screen door and be like, "Let me in!" Just banging on it as they're recording,
holding up 2 bottles of mead.
Yeah, just
pop up holding up mead.
I bring gifts. Let me in. I need to shit on all you guys and say that I'm the greatest UK podcaster.
No, so we're going to do the UK Conquest Ashes. Now, by the way, I actually don't think I'm a better player than the Josh Randinator.
That's okay. You have James.
However, hey, I'm also undefeated into them. So we are, as a podcast, undefeated into Josh and Langanea. So really, it's all on them. They've got to up their game.
That's fair.
Just gotta run a 3-man team match.
He doesn't have a
podcast.
They need to find a third person for.
They have to bring in a ringer.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone. We'll just any random person.
Each of you does one thing good. You are better at the game and they are better at podcasts, so that's fine.
We're better at releasing them.
The beef is real.
This is what the Joshes get for not showing up.
That's okay.
Yeah,
One of those
exactly,
messages you made, he's gonna show up shortly.
I
Oh
just
damn!
want to
Quick,
inside
get your roasts in now while you can.
Yeah.
No. Look, we are British and we roast each other to our faces.
Yeah, but you
Oh,
won't drive
probably.
4 hours over to do it in person. What's like not
Oh
that
my
far.
god, it's so long. They can
Oh my
come
god,
here.
so
I wanna-
long. They come
I
here.
don't
I'm here
want
whining
to.
and crying.
I have to pay a congestion fee.
What, for having too many
oh,
people in
God.
London?
Yeah, for going to London, it's bloody awful. God, I hate
A
London.
congestion fee.
Oh,
Yeah, you
because
got to
the
pay to
traffic,
drive around
yeah.
London.
That makes-
Yeah, because no, they just want money. Don't.
Well, yeah.
Don't act like it's reasonable.
it sounds like
No, we will
London's a
do. We will do.
terrible place.
It is. Ask Josh when he gets here, or Sam.
Well, like the entirety of Canada is just a 2-lane highway, as far as I understand.
No,
That's
it,
not true.
it is.
100%.
No, that's not fair. There's
They
no
wrote a
highway
song
on
about it called
Newfoundland.
"Life is a Highway."
Like yeah, it's
We
can confirm.
So my German aunt years ago when I was a teenager came to Canada and she was surprised by two things. One, our coffee cups are bigger and it's unlimited coffee because supposedly in Germany you got to pay for that shit every time you want to refill and it's expensive. And number two, when we went to the cottage, she was like, "Wow, this land, it's so flat and amazing and there's just nothing here." And then hour 2 happened. She's like, "Wow, this land is so flat and amazing and nothing is here. We haven't turned in 2 hours." I'm like, "Yeah, it's normal." Didn't realize how just the same of nothing would be for so long.
Well, that applies for like a solid like 70-80% of
Oh,
the
no, we
country,
were
whereas
driving
the other
towards
percent is
Ontario.
like yeah, the other parts it's like death highways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Cassandra, your thoughts on Yoni?
I think they're a cool concept. I thought that was going to be expressed through hell, but I guess they're going in a different direction there. However that winds up manifesting itself. I'm going to probably start the faction, and ironically, I'm getting out of Wadrun probably to do it, and that's weird because I don't love necessarily the Japan aesthetic, like, enough for it to be a selling point on its own, but I love dinosaurs and statuesque orc women, so it does seem like a weird choice, but mechanically the game, like the faction, seems interesting, so I don't know. We'll see. I feel like I'm not smart enough to understand how to play them yet, and I probably won't be until I get some models and some games under my belt, but I like how modular they feel and how sort of into the list building aspect of it that you can get into with them, with the way that the modular regiments are set up and everything like that. So I'm excited for them personally, and also conceivably this is an army that I could actually have painted, which is never going to happen with my Nords. It's just not in the cards.
Well, we have a local
You can play
who
10
wants-
models.
There you go.
Maybe there's a chance.
Mentioning Nords, I'm going on to box 6 of Raiders.
Yay!
Mass, I'm sorry to do this, but I think this is where I have to tap out of the group.
Yeah, no problem.
Activity.
Oh.
But thank you for joining us, everyone, and thank you for having me in your home, listeners. And I don't know. I'm sure we'll record another one soon. So.
Yeah.
And plus, you're gonna have Josh to replace me, and that's a much more pleasing accent to listen to. So
That's why I love the British.
exactly.
That wasn't even figurative. Cass is actually in your home right now.
Yeah. I'm in the crawl space.
What's
She
that
keeps
nothing
stealing my
sound?
crumpets.
Okay, you have a good one, Cass.
Bye, everyone.
It was a
Bye-bye.
pleasure.
All right.
Cass.
All right. So our next question is best, most interesting / goodest thing in Conquest. This is the exact way I said it last time a year ago.
Wait, to do it again.
All right. So what is the best / most exciting / goodest thing in Conquest currently, from your opinion? Apex, you're up.
I'm gonna go with that. Like, we're sort of trying to modernize and get to a cohesive rules design across all the factions, because some of them felt kind of dated as design philosophy shifted, and like adding the battlefield roles as tags for kind of, honing in where you want buffs to occur. I'm very excited to see how that turns out for some of these other factions. I think what Spires is maybe due up fairly soon in Dwag.
I think it's
I don't
Dwag is
remember.
next, and
Yeah,
then
Dwag is
Spires.
next. Yeah, exactly.
And then Spires. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes, and it's I think hopefully it gets to a point where it feels like all the factions are kind of operating on the same design philosophy, because I think it changed a fair bit over that first year of version 2.
Oh yeah. Joining us, just as Cass has skedaddled, we have Josh from Joshing Around in Aya. Is this Josh or Josh 3?
This is Josh.
Okay, hi Josh.
The main Josh, the most important Josh.
It's okay. Not Josh was here, and then he had to be a parent.
But he's only
it's not
half
Josh.
here. He's so far away from the microphone.
I think he's fighting.
Oh,
the
my
mic.
quite quiet. Hang on, let me up my.
Do a flip.
Oh my.
I just want to point out, I've never heard Josh and Cass on the same podcast.
Yeah, I had the exact same thought.
Wait, how did you guys know?
And even
How
the
did
voice
you
is so
know
similar.
Wow.
But that might be because of the microphone.
It's so
Are
good.
you guys hearing me at all?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
we can hear you, but you sound like you're like 300 meters away from your microphone.
Okay, I'm. Yes, that's why. Hang on.
He hasn't
How's
eaten a
that?
microphone
Just
yet.
go 300 more meters.
Is this better?
Yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
perfect.
That's because I was using my laptop microphone, not the headphones that I'm currently wearing, which makes sense.
Now he's gonna play old school RuneScape. So, just a heads up, Josh, because you're here now finally to defend yourself. There's
Yep.
been a lot of shit talking between
Okay.
why your podcast sucks and that you guys are not good at the game.
Yeah.
You may now defend yourself.
Wait. To be fair, I only said one of those two things.
Yeah, but he can figure out which one.
I never said
Honestly-
the podcast was bad.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, I'd like to know the exact words, actually.
I think you'll have to
so now
re-listen
we
to
need
this
to
podcast.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't really listen.
Yeah, it's only 1.5 hours long, so
Yeah, well, you can tell Aaron if he's here for, which I wouldn't expect he is, even though I can see his name on the Discord. But he is, but he can get lost because, frankly, I gave him that game. I just felt sorry for him at LGT, so that's why I let him win.
Wow, that's legit.
that's not even what he said.
So, wait, just really quickly though. More important question: Josh, do you actually play old school RuneScape?
I did as a kid. I have not for a long time.
He is the chosen one.
And even then, I was one of those kids that just kind of stayed around in the opening area and kind of just like replayed that over and over because I didn't really understand what was going on.
As did we all. With any game.
I did love the music. The music was special.
Oh, he's eating while podcasting. He knows this is legit. This is
Oh,
a real
it's a
bonk table.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm having my dinner.
Yeah, don't worry.
You said a wonderful crunch as I ate my toast.
So,
How you guys doing? What you been chatting about?
I have a
Is
list.
this where I make fun of British cuisine again and we just talk about toast and beans, or what?
Oh yeah, I mean everything
Look,
you think
beans on
that's
toast
true
is good, though.
about British cuisine is absolutely true.
No, the saying is everything you think is bad about British cuisine is even worse.
Wait, Josh, did you see in the main Conquest Discord there was
No.
someone chatting shit about beans on toast, right?
Who's
Now-
that?
Like some psychopath. It gets even worse.
Exactly.
And they
Go
were
on.
like, "It's just beans on bread. You don't even toast the bread." I was like, "What do you mean? Of course you toast the bread." Like,
What
they're like,
psychopath
yeah.
puts beans on plain bread?
Honestly, and I was like, "I think whoever gave that to you hates you." I don't know. What it's like.
What do you mean? What do you even mean by saying the words cuisine and beans and bread in one sentence?
Look, beans on toast is a good meal.
Yep.
Like, I'm with the British on
God
this
save
one.
the
I
king.
support
Can we
beans
go
on
back to
toast. I think
Conquest,
it's
please?
good.
I feel sick
Thank
already.
you. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
So I have far too many cookbooks.
Mm.
Cooking's my other hobby, and Fate on Press does like a series of like national cookbooks, and I bought the British cookbook, and when it came, I was very excited to see how they managed to make 464 pages of beans on toast.
What?
Oh, hey.
But,
We got
if the
fish and
book
chips too.
is spelled COCK, it's not cook.
Wow. I would like you to all know that I am a British person, and I have cooked a wonderful roast dinner this afternoon, and I used a sous vide for the beef. So we put that on
Lovely.
overnight, a lovely little 56 degrees, put a load of butter and rosemary and thyme and all of those things. And we basically stole all of the cooking techniques from the French. It's great.
Well, did you sear it off afterward? Did you get it out?
Oh
You know,
yeah,
like,
I'm not an absolute
yeah.
weirdo. Just like
Perfect. Like, because I've seen
Having
people
that
do it.
wet
Like, why
brown
is it that
beef.
gray, man? That's not what you're supposed to do.
it's so it looks so gross when it comes out. But when you actually sear it off, it does look quite tasty.
And then pouring 1 can of beer over it, and it's perfect.
There
Josh,
you go.
XLGT, we should do a cooking podcast.
I think
I
that would be
can't.
great.
I can't actually cook with beer anymore because my wife has celiac, so I can't have anything with gluten when I'm cooking. I didn't really cut down on like roasting whole chicken because beer on the roast chicken is fantastic.
I've never done that. That's
Aren't you a
Yeah,
pharmacist? Can't you prescribe her
stick
something
a
that
pan
gets
in a
rid of
chicken.
that?
It's gross.
No,
It
it's an
works.
autoimmune thing, so it's just like her, whole immune system starts attacking everything. It's almost like an allergy for trying to oversimplify it some.
No.
It's like Cass on Twitter, who's like attacking everything.
God damn it.
So Josh, what do you think about the Yavoni?
Yeah.
I think that the samurai aesthetic is cool. I like that. I think I'm generally more of a fan of like when they include historical elements into said like factions. I think aesthetically it's quite cool. I'm a bit of a standard human with sticks sort of guy, so I do appreciate the more low fantasy elements, but I do think they look cool. I have no idea how the mechanics work on the different stands, and apparently you can't refuse duels with them or something like that. And I remember hearing there's a few things, but I haven't looked into them properly, so I can't form a full opinion, but it's cool. I like the Parabellum are bringing out new minis, and I'm sure it'll be great fun to play.
I agree with you there. What's your? I guess we're just gonna get you're just gonna get speed run and then caught up. What's your thoughts on
sounds
Worlds?
good. Worlds.
Oh, hold on. By the way, for the listener, this is Josh from Josh Around and Aya. He'll be in the
Hello.
description below. All right, now
I'm Josh.
finish the question. Gun to your head. Let's go.
Okay. What do I think of Worlds? As in, like, what do I think of how they're being run, or who do I think is going to be there? What?
From Worlds from last year, what were your thoughts on it? The whole process.
Oh yeah, I thought it was cool. I think as a first run goes, I thought it was pretty successful. Seems like people went there, had a great time. Apparently, Poland are the best country for Conquest, which is great. And I thought it was really cool that they did that. And they from what it seems like, because I've chatted to Chris, who was our UK champion, and he said he had an amazing time. And I think it sounds like Parabellum like really looked after him, and I think that's pretty great. In terms of like who won and stuff like that, I think it was just made me laugh that Cole didn't come second again. I was a little bit disappointed by that actually, but it was still good, and I thought they ran it well. There's a couple of things where I'm like, oh okay, like I think it just seemed a bit confusing the way that like you gain points and like which tournaments you had to go to, and then some things were like you had to have tournaments which were like 5 games or something like that, and often tournaments we've had in the UK have only really been like especially smaller ones around London. We'll go to a cafe called Bad Moon. It's really great there, but we all go there for a day. It's not like a 2-day event where you can have 5 games. So they were kind of saying, look, it can't qualify for Worlds unless it's got 5 games or 4 games. I can't remember what it was. We just can't fit that in a day. It's like 3 games and we're already like absolutely wiped. So I think going forward, it would be nice to see a little bit more like them opening the table up to like smaller 1-day tournaments. But I do think it was still cool, and I think it was a pretty good run for a first go at a Worlds tournament. So yeah.
Nice. Now we get into our news question. So Apex answered this before you joined, and then you're just gonna still talk, and then we'll get Aaron to do it. But what is, cool. And this is a quote from the first time I did this last year. I re-listened to the first Podcasters Assemble podcast just to get an idea of what the heck I actually asked, because I forgot to write it down or store it somewhere. The question is, best/most exciting / goodest thing in Conquest currently, from your opinion?
Oh, I mean, the 100 Kingdoms rework by far is... I mean, I'm obviously a 100 Kingdoms player, so I absolutely love it, but I just thought it was so cool. I think there's so much different stuff that I can run now. Before it was like Ashen Dawn and other stuff, and now it's like, oh, it feels like actually I'm writing lists that seem to be quite effective that Ashen Dawn don't even get a look in, and I'm like, as much as I do love them, and as much as I can be salty about, the 10 million nerfs that they probably deserved.
They got shot in the foot a lot.
Yeah. It was like Household Nights all over again. But I think I was just like, yeah, this is really cool. Like, stuff actually, I don't know, works. And like lots of different stuff works. I'm like, this is cool. So I think I've got an Archangel on the way. Very excited about painting that up. And yeah, just excited to try out Theist, try out different combos. It's going to be great fun.
No, I agree with you there. It's I really like that rework, and I'm really happy what Parabellum did, because 100K was not in a good place. Like, it was not in a good place since the start of version 2. The only reason why it was doing good was on the back of Ashen Dawn, and they did need to bring Ashen Dawn down, but they needed to bring everything 100%. Else up. And they've done it, what I'm really happy about, because if they brought like that, when they brought Ashen Dawn down in October, until the update, I had no interest in playing 100K at all. I didn't see there was no reason to play 100K. There was nothing in there that was going to be viable, sadly.
Yeah. I think the only thing that kept me playing it was the fact that I wanted to get a 2K painted army. And as you may or may not know, I'm very slow at painting. I do really enjoy it, and I want stuff to look good, but I'm just like, oh man, like, by the time I start, for example, I'm painting some Household Nights at the moment, literally as we record. And I've owned them for 3 years. I started painting them 2 years ago, and I've only just got around finishing them. So stuff does kind of go in and out of meta while I'm painting a unit, but we'll get there.
But you haven't painted anything else as well.
Just the Household.
Yeah, that's literally it. Yeah. Just one brushstroke every 2 days, every 2 months. No, I've painted a lot of other stuff. But yeah, they've just kind of been on the back burner. But yeah,
that's really good. Thank you, Aaron. What is your pick for the best, most exciting, goodest thing in Conquest currently?
This is a really hard question. I do want to say before I answer it, by the way, that Josh does have a gorgeous 100 Kingdoms army.
It's not even painted, though.
Most of it is painted. Yeah, it is a very well painted army. I do really like it.
Most of it painted.
Most of it's painted. Well, I mean, to be fair, I think when at LGT, was there only like one unit that wasn't finished or wasn't painted?
There was, I think, one Ashen Dawn, maybe a Crimson Tower was halfway there, and then maybe something else. But everything else was painted, so it's the closest.
Very nice. Yeah, no, it looks really good. So
thanks, man.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing your Archangel. And killing it. I hope. If not, I'm going to die. Says it. So I guess what I'm liking at the moment, I like how kind of, in general, how open the meta is in the game. So I know we kind of mentioned earlier. I think the faction balance is really good at the moment. I think realistically, somebody could play any faction and win an event, and I wouldn't be surprised. So I think that's like a really healthy place to be. I think there's obviously like internal balance issues and Like there are obviously some factions that are better than others, but I just think at the moment, like everything feels like you could take it to an event and do well with it, and I really like that because I'd much rather pick a faction based on what I enjoy playing than what's meta at the moment. So I think that's mine.
Nice, man. Liam, you're up.
Yes, I also huge fan of the 100 Kingdoms update. I spent most of last year playing Spires, and because I also wasn't feeling super motivated to play or paint 100 Kingdoms, so I was eagerly awaiting this update, and it did not disappoint. It like changed all the things I didn't like, and it's like coming right at the time where I'm like ready to take a break from Spires, and also like finally get. Like, I've had a 1,500 point list painted of 100 Kingdoms for a while, but now I'm, like, motivated enough to get a 2,000 point list painted. And so I'm a fan of them going back to rework the older factions in this, like, new timeline they've laid out for this season. And my gut reaction of what I wanted to say of my favorite thing was I realized it's kind of like the same thing I said last year, which was just, like, them changing the rules for world events and allowing 3-round events qualify. But yeah, also I picked up Nords as my third faction this year, so that's been pretty fun because they also got a rework. My first game of Nords ever was like a week before the rework happened, so I was like, all right, time to relearn them after like just learning them. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to. I'll probably just like. I think as excited as I am for 100 Kingdoms, I feel like the Nords will be more my playstyle. So after I've got a tournament in about a month, and I'm gonna do 100 Kingdoms for, and then I feel like I'll be going hog wild with Nords for most of this season. So I'm pretty excited for that.
Oh boy, are you going to was it February 15th?
The one in Red Deer.
Yeah, I've booked time off.
The Tournament of Love.
Yeah, the Love Tournament.
Yeah, I'm going to that one, and I'm gonna miss out on Jeff's 2-day one like the following month.
Ooh,
because I'll be in Europe.
I think Jeff. I think he was putting it down for like the 22nd or the 23rd or something.
No, it's the 8th and 9th.
This is the 8th and 9th really?
Of March.
Damn,
I think. Let me head over to the Canadian Conquest Organized Play Discord server.
Oh, thank goodness.
Programmed the event in there the other day.
Thank goodness we have that, so we can actually do this properly. Yeah, because I think the...
March Madness, Saturday, March 8th to March 9th.
You know what? I might be able to make that one. The Jeff
and that's
one.
probably going to be... Well, actually, I think the one in Quebec might be the first, 2-day event happening first. Let's see, I also programmed that
sadly, I have a tournament coming up there. That's why I would have changed as well.
In Quebec.
Yeah, at the 8th of March, I have a tournament coming up here.
I think I'm off for the Quebec one. I was actually thinking, yeah, because that's start of February.
If I had a lot more money, I'd buy a plane ticket to go to the one at Grand Clash in Quebec, because that's one of their big it's kind of like a similar to GameCon Canada as far as I know. I'm not entirely sure.
Sorry guys, I won't be able to make it. I'm too busy eating beans on toast.
That's okay. That's your life.
Nice one.
It's a good excuse.
I would
for
attend far
Englishmen.
I'd attend far more tournaments, Josh, if people start doing events on my important family days.
You always
So
do
so you can
events.
avoid.
So all I've learned is that you have to do events whenever Carl has important family days, so you can not have to participate.
So you
can
so
actually
you can
try
get
and
second
win.
place.
Yeah, so you get second place.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to be at Jeff's event. You won't be able to farm any wins against me if we get paired.
Nah, we've only played once.
Yeah, and it was a 1,500 point game.
Yeah, and I've only gotten better.
That's the same number
I've
of
only
times
gone
I've
worse.
played him.
All right, Redbeard, what's your best, most exciting / goodest thing in Conquest?
Since I'm the last one, I had the most time to think about it, and I've come up with something really, really deep. And the best thing in Conquest is, of course, you guys producing awesome content for everyone to enjoy.
Oh, thank you.
That is very kind of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. No, but jokes aside, I think the best thing in Conquest is that Parabellum is really engaged with the community, and that they keep developing the game in a way that still draws in a lot of players. It's something I see time and again, that people are really, really hooked by the game and how it works, and they have kept the core mechanics of the game very straight, and they evolve the game around it. And I get the feeling every time I see a good friend of mine giving a demo game, or if people come by when we have our monthly game day, and they see the game and they try the game, they get hooked very fast, and we draw more and more people in, and I feel the game grows a lot worldwide. It's hard to say sometimes, but it's my impression. So I think that's the best thing about Conquest, that they keep evolving it in a very healthy way, and that they give out updates on the game, balance-wise and mechanics-wise, and that they rather go small steps instead of making big changes. Stuff like that is really, really what keeps the game afloat, I think. And yeah, besides telling it's a joke, I think the community putting out content is a very good thing indeed.
Oh, no,
It's certainly easier to like do all the free labor and like making content or organizing events at your local store when you know the company is like invested and not just like checked out selling product.
Looking at you, GW. Looking at you, Privateer Press. Privateer Press.
Oh, don't get me started on Privateer Press. Oh my god.
I mean, they're so checked out they sold the game.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's a whole nother podcast.
God, we gotta just get together to just record shit. Just talk about dumb shit. All right, so just joining in, also from the United Kingdom, not Josh, has arrived.
Oh.
Again.
He's back.
I find my identity in not being Josh, and that is.
Hey, it's Mark. Hey, Mark.
Mark.
Before we started recording, we had an awesome thought that it would be really funny if not Josh's name is actually Josh, and you three joshing around are hiding it and fopping everyone in the bag. So everyone's unsure now.
Wait, Josh, you got to get off the call now, man. They found us out.
Yeah. I'm sorry, everyone.
Was that part of the
other Josh? Between the two of us, we are all three, which is why you never see all three of us in the same room at the same time.
I have! You had me on like video call. I've seen all three of you. I've seen Josh, not Josh, and Josh 3.
Yeah, but we could have been making up our names.
They formed Josh Cubed. With BonkTron together.
Collecting the Infinity Stones. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, no, it's like collecting all the Infinity Stones. You've got to try and collect all the Joshes. And then you'll have the power to win Conquest games.
Yeah, I'd always thought it was more like collecting Pokemon. But,
but what, middle-aged men?
So,
I don't think they're middle-aged.
God,
Mass, where's this come from?
Yeah, I rebuke that middle-aged. I will have you. I'm still in my 20s. Thank you very much.
Are you actually in your 20s?
Are you?
But for UK, that's middle-aged, isn't it?
yeah. I've only got a few years left.
They don't make it past 35.
Yeah. All my teeth are gone.
Yeah, with that kind of cooking, obviously.
Yeah, the beans on toast, they only give you a few years.
It just wrecks you, buddy.
I thought you were the same age as me.
Yeah, I thought you were like 33, 34-ish.
The beard.
Well, there you go.
Josh, how old are you now?
I'm about to turn 28.
Oh, wow.
Oh, fuck off.
Nice job, man.
You're still eating beans and toast. Insane.
I thought you were way older.
We average out at about 33, so yeah, we're all good.
Yeah.
Wow, you're also young. Who's the oldest guy here?
I'm 31.
I'm 32.
I'm probably the oldest here.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 38.
Dang, when do you turn 39? Because then we're very close.
June.
Oh, damn. Okay,
Afraid
then
I'll
you're just
beat you
a
both.
couple days
I
older
turned
than me, I guess.
40 last year.
Well, if Cass was here, she'd be 40.
Wait.
So
What is
Cass is
Sam, how old are you?
28. You can't say anything else.
I know.
We went over this on the 5.5 hour Woodrune episode.
Well, truly, wargaming transcends all ages. So
How old are
It really
you,
does.
Sam? Did you just say?
Yeah, I'm 40. I turned 40 last year.
Oh.
all right, so I got one of them.
You take it all.
Sam is older than me. Okay. And now I feel like a young kid.
You're gonna get a hip or a what was it, pip in your step? You're just gonna be like, oh.
No. No, the old body doesn't have a pip in its step anymore.
Well, look, I mean, say what you want, but Sam, sorry, I mean, not Josh. I've revealed it. But not Josh could definitely still beat me in a race.
I'll second that. Sorry, as in he beat me. I'm not.
I thought you were just being savage. Just like, yeah, I saw him once, guys. Flipping heck, he's got no chance.
I'll be really straight here, mate. If there's a race between you and not Josh, like we'll just get lunch, mate. We'll just we'll go. We're not winning that.
Beans on toast. Sounds good.
You're just gonna watch not just start walking and you'll be like, oh, maybe I can do this. All right, not Josh. You have appeared, so now you have to get you have to do the speed run of the questions. So first question, Worlds. What are your thoughts on Worlds from last year?
Jealous that I missed out on the barbecue.
That's very
same.
valid. Fair.
Yeah. Very valid UK point.
What do you think of the new faction, Ioni, the Weeb faction?
It's only a matter of time before my cupboard gets filled with them, but I'm not sure what I'm going to have to get rid of to actually achieve that. So, yeah, watch this space. It's that Fox Lady, Origami Warriors, and the man with the pipe. I have not learned the names yet.
Man with the pipe.
At least
was
not Josh has good taste. I'm pretty sure those are two of the three models I said were awesome. So not Josh, I'm with you.
Now, lastly, as you're now caught up on all the questions, what is the best / most exciting / goodest thing in Conquest from the previous year?
It's gonna have to be either. Well, this makes me very soppy, but it's the people. You know, I think every single person that I have met who plays Conquest just seems to be a really high quality human being who wants to enjoy the game and, you know, makes the whole experience brilliant. So just shout out to everybody who plays Conquest in the world. And also, I think the commitment to want to make Conquest like an interesting enough game that you can't like outthink it from a meta perspective, because all that PB is going to do is just rebalance. So it's like you can basically buy a box of whatever sort of minis that you want, and then it's just a matter of time before that becomes the best unit in your faction, sort of thing. So yeah, I like that you can't sort of outthink the game designers.
Yeah.
Nice job, man. All right. So, Apex Chinchilla, you're once again at the top of the list. As I cross that one off. What is bad, not that exciting, or the worst thing in Conquest from last year? From your opinion.
Tough one.
Isn't it obviously
Worst thing in
BonkTable?
Conquest?
This guy is savage, man.
That's why he's on. Keeps me in check.
I mean, I think the rough launch for how the points were going to be for Worlds, I think probably has to be the thing that just like hit the the flattest, having to have the 4 rounds, because you had to have at least 12 people, but you had to have an undefeated winner or whatever, so you had to go 4 rounds. I really do think that cut down a lot of regions' just interest in even attempting to be able to go. So as far as decision making, I'm gonna go with that. And that's probably about it as far as rulesy, gamey sort of things. Otherwise, it was just not having enough time to go to events for me personally, because I do enjoy going to full 3-round events. I wouldn't want to do a 4th round of Conquest in a day either. That's just a really, really long day. So yeah, I'm going to go with the initial structure for Worlds, and then questions about whether or not painting was required. It kind of seemed like it wasn't all the way kind of fleshed out with the design of how we would get these points. So I'll go with that.
No, I agree with you on that one. Yeah. Like, Canada didn't have any events. I think we had 1 Worlds qualifier last year.
I don't even know if we had one.
I think we had one in Montreal, early on. All right, Aaron, what is your opinion or answer on bad, not exciting, worst thing in Conquest from last year?
I think I probably have a pretty similar one, but I think for a different answer, I think for me it would maybe be the launch of Sorcerer Kings. Was it
Bloodlust?
Bloodlust was awful. We all knew it was awful. But just in general, I think when we talked about it earlier, I love the Sorcerer Kings. I think they are good. But I do think the launch was it was better than City States launch. But it was still a bit flat because, like we've said, there are only a handful of models you're really going to play with. And I think there's a huge design space there to kind of work with, which isn't really being tapped into. I mean, half of the models in the faction are borderline unplayable in a list, and I think that's a bit of a downer, but they're still gorgeous models, and I think it's still a great faction. But yeah, that would be my downside there.
No, I get you there. They've come around a lot since their inception that I'm happy about. But I do agree. They're kind of they have a really good plan, but it's kind of that's their plan.
Mm-hmm.
Josh from Josh Around Nea.
I'm probably my least favourite thing is the 10 billion Ashen Dawn nerfs that we received throughout the year. No, I mean, yeah, that did make me cry, but only because I'd literally just finished painting some Ashen Dawn. But my actual, I think, perhaps slight gripe at Parabellum is, I think, less of a gripe, but I just kind of, I think, I don't know. I feel like the factions have slowly lost a little bit of internal balance. I feel like when it started, they were all you could pretty much play whatever you wanted. I think as it's gone along, it seems like, and it's fair enough that, a game gets more popular, the meta gets a bit more known, I guess. But it just feels like, generally speaking, more so than when I first started playing Conquest a few years ago. I remember I'd go to LGT and stuff was really different. Everyone was bringing something completely different. Whereas now it's I don't know, maybe there's a couple of different lists that I feel people would run, and that's kind of what you'd see a lot. And I think it's not really that much of an issue because, like Sam said, it changes all the time. And it keeps it fresh, and it means, if you like a model, you might as well buy it because at some point it'll probably be quite good. So I like the fact that they're not afraid to buff old miniatures rather than just make new stuff really good. But it does feel like sometimes the new stuff that comes out seems to be pretty good, and that's what you should get. So yeah, I think maybe that's a little bit of a gripe, but in general, like we've all said, I mean, the balance is pretty good. I think stuff still feels pretty like you could turn up to any tournament with basically any faction and you could pull out a win if you're good enough, and you just think that's great. If it's based on a player's skill and they've just done it well. I get the list building's part of that, but yeah, I think that's kind of my thoughts.
No, I get you there, and I do agree with you. I don't know if it's part of the meta is getting solved, or people are just kind of figuring out what the best thing is, and then diverting all their focus to that because they want to win, and people want to go to Worlds now.
Yeah.
Liam, what do you think? What's not that great in Conquest currently?
Yeah, I mean the launch of the World Event Circuit was a little bit fumbled. I hadn't thought about it before, but Cass opened my eyes to or when she said about in a perfect world, last year's season was like the lead up to Worlds this season or something. I can't remember exactly what she said, but yeah, that was not super fun as a person playing in the Canadian region. Other things personally that was a negative experience was just slingers a lot. I just had to play it into a lot of really good Woodroom players this year, and I just got a bit of slinger trauma.
The PTSD is real.
Yeah, there's just been so many rocks flung at me, just deleted all my poor Spires units. But that's I do think, especially in comparison to a lot of other games on the market right now, the balance in Conquest is overall pretty good, and kind of like what I said earlier, the people working there are invested and not just checked out selling product. And speaking of product, one I guess gripe or complaint I could think of, and the other thing is thinking of complaints about Parabellum. Usually got to think a little bit about it because I don't have a lot of complaints, which is a good sign. But I've had a lot. People are always asking me if there's ways to read the lore on paper, and unless you picked up the old Conquest Companion or campaign book from the early 2020s, those. I mean, the companion book I have it, and it's a nice hardcover books. So you can get, and half of the book is invalid rules, but the first half of the book, it's you can sit down in your nice chair and read the Conquest lore on paper instead of having to use the website. And I know they've mentioned in happy hours or in person a couple times about getting a new book out that's just lore, or I suppose they're going to deliver it now just through their D&D supplements. I imagine one of those is just going to be an entirely world building lore book that a lot of people will buy just to have a paper version to read the Conquest lore because it's so good. And I'm a little bummed that there isn't I'm working back to working at my local game store now, and I was searching if any of the distributors still had copies of the companion book in that I could order, because I know there's some local players that would love to buy it, and even though you can only really use the first half of the book, but a lot of Conquest players are Warhammer Fantasy refugees, or maybe refugee isn't the right term, but a lot of us have that nostalgia or fondness from sitting down and reading all the army books, and they're filled with great art, and the art has gone downhill, I found, with the Age of Sigmar books when you compare them to the Warhammer Fantasy army books. And I don't think Conquest needs to release army books for each faction, but just a lot of people would really appreciate a way to read the great lore that isn't just reading off the website,
Yeah, no, I agree with you. We need 2+ Tough. Need him to just do audiobooks. I would sit there for days and just listen to him just talk about just doing straight reads of lore, or doing stories if they start getting into the books and stuff. I'd pay that.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Well, yeah, I mean, audiobooks are good. Let's get the book sorted out first before we can get the audiobook. One thing I did actually the other week is I used just the text-to-speech function in my browser to just have it read out the lore articles while I was painting, because I was I need to catch up on all these lore articles. I also need to paint.
That's such a good idea.
Why?
Yeah, and
why are we so stupid and Liam's just coming in here with the great ideas?
I'm going to do that tomorrow. Thank you. That's my
I mean, I use Microsoft Edge, and that you can select the accent and of the reader you want. It's pretty fun.
Is there a British one? Can it make it?
Oh yeah, there's one of the Joshes. I think you could choose between Welsh, Irish, Scottish, or British. There's a lot of options.
I gotta get the most acidine Scottish accent so I can barely understand it.
And then the spies brought their horse-grown thrones.
Oh, and side tangent, my favorite unit my favorite unit name in Conquest is the Chariot, the Flugaballon. That just has such a great mouthfeel when you say that word.
That's
Flugaballon.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Flugaballon.
Thank you, Liam. Redbeard, what is the bad / not exciting / worst thing in Conquest from last year?
Yeah, for 2024, I think I have to agree with the aforementioned things. But for me, I think two things come to mind. First, all the rules answering in the rules question channel on the main Discord was a little bit frustrating at times when questions were answered in one way, and then they popped up an email and the exact same question was answered in a different way, and everyone was kind of confused on some things. And then you played at a tournament and someone said, yeah, I've read something on a Discord, and the next guy says, I don't have Discord, so what's the rule now? And that's kind of it didn't really work out well, in my opinion. Of course, most questions are answered very easily, but there's still so many questions that could easily break the game at some point, or parts of the game. And I think the new way they chose is actually the better one, collecting the questions and then releasing a regular FAQ, and maybe working on mechanics behind the scenes instead of chatting about it in the Discord or answering questions themselves in the Discord, because that's always a recipe for catastrophe, I think. I think that's the bigger issue. And the other one I have, which is a constant one, and it's not meant to be offensive in any way, but I find the happy hour video and audio quality is horrendous. I find it hard to watch the longer it goes on.
The good old happy hour jank.
Oh God!
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it's like
Let me do it.
2025 now, and there's like hardware which is not actually that expensive, and I don't want to take up any beef, but it's not that hard to get a decent microphone, a decent camera to have events like this
PowerPoint.
look. Yeah,
I loved the PowerPoint bit in this most recent happy hour. That was pretty amusing.
I mean,
But
I
it was,
see
like,
it's a small
painful.
it's a small company, and especially with stuff like Worlds, I can understand if it's a first thing, but Happy Hour has been going on for quite some time, and I feel maybe that's too general of a point, but sometimes I feel like they distribute their workforce too wide, and they maybe should rein in some things and not work on a D&D world rule set / whatever, and maybe take a step back and focus on some small things, get them in order, and then go to the next bigger project. Everyone is in agreement, the first world event series was kind of rushed and not thought through to the end, in my opinion. And I heard out for most of the people think the same. And it's small things, no big things. The game is really one of the best games I've ever played, and the factions are perfect, and the world is great, and the rules in general are very good, and the core mechanics work awesomely well. The game draws in people, but some little gripes still stay, and that's two of them for me from the last year.
Oh, thank you.
No, they were really
Shit
good.
needs to get fixed. This is why we talked about it.
Yeah, I don't want to be condescending or something. It might sound like that, but
No,
man,
it
it's
definitely seems like they're spread too thin sometimes.
Do you guys remember when charging didn't work for 3 weeks?
Oh, right
Yeah,
before Worlds,
it
and they
was-
had to.
yeah,
So
it was horrible. Stuff like that is just catastrophe.
charging still confuses me.
It's okay. Just.
But I think
sign your
that's more of a
minis with your
me-
opponent.
That's more of a me problem.
Might be for now. It's been solved in an okay way, I find. But stuff like that comes up regularly. We had the exact same issue in 1.51, something like that, 2 or 2.5 years ago, where you had the free wheel during the charge, and that was answered in different ways in the Discord as well, and people went nuts over it. It might have been even 3 years ago. Insane. And just a couple years later, we have the same thing basically again.
Mass, can I add another negative point that this charging conversation reminded me of?
Yeah, sure.
It's it felt like First Blood was a bit fumbled this summer, and I think it's kind of an issue that
Yeah.
not all the centerpiece monster models can be played in First Blood, like because that's just can be a bad experience from the customer end if they're only wanting to play the skirmish game. And then it's like, oh, but the cool Brontosaurus model, you can't play that because it's like being play tested right now. And like the charging jank and confusing nature is like pretty. I mean, I haven't played First Blood in a while, but it was like not a great experience. So like it felt like they shouldn't have even planned to have worlds for First Blood this season at all. So I'm glad they like kind of canceled that early on, because First Blood, like there is like a market of people who do primarily want to play that, and they're kind of like they've haven't had the best time over this past year. First Blood, I mean, it's a bit better now because they have the separate rules development team specifically for First Blood. So I hope First Blood kind of gets out of its open beta stage right now. I know it's not in an open beta, but it kind of feels like that.
I want to talk about that for a moment. First Blood, I rather them see it like they have those First Blood boxes. I rather those be like independent boxes that you buy for the faction to play First Blood list with, and you could use those minis quotes as officers if you had both. Because one of the issues I see with First Blood is you buy a box of like 12 crossbows and you're only going to use 5 of them, or you buy a box of like, you know, like a bunch of men-at-arms, you're only going to use 4 of them, stuff like that. While if you just had a box that was dedicated for First Blood for 100k, what had those minis, maybe they're in a higher detail or have more accessories of just like extra stuff to kind of like differentiate them from the regular guy as more of like a little skirmishy warband. That would kind of be a way to do it, and then you just have those warbands playing to each other.
Well,
similar
it looks
to
like
Kill Team.
so with that, the Euroni, there's like the Euroni First Blood cohort box on pre-order right now. So it looks like when in June they're gonna refresh all the First Blood products like they did last year, and I'm guessing they're gonna like go up in price and have like larger point size on average now that First Blood is 1,000 points. So it'll be interesting to see like when they give all of the other 8 factions their First Blood update. Like it seems like they're all gonna like the First Blood starter boxes are just gonna be bigger, but it's hard to say what that'll look like now. But I get what you're saying. It is awkward if like you start with the First Blood warband box, but like, oh, there's this other unit in the faction I'd like to add, but it's like I guess I have to buy 12 of them. And if it's a ranged unit, like taking a full like 12 ranged units in First Blood is a mistake, because ranged, you can't shoot into combat unless you're shooting at a monster. So like any First Blood list I build, I never bring anything more than like a 1 minimum ranged unit, if any ranged unit.
I think First Blood, it's an interesting thing. I've played a few games of it. It's good fun. Like, I think as a design space, it's actually more of like a funnel to the last argument of Kings. So it's like,
yeah,
you kind of play it and then you go, okay, I want to play these guys, but now I've got to buy a box of 12. And you think, well, I've got a box of 12 of these guys now. I might as well give 1,000 points of the last argument of Kings ago. And then you end up playing that and you realise it's a great game. So I think, yeah, obviously they need to keep showing it love and things, but I think primarily its function should really be kind of bringing people into the main game, who then go and spend more money on more miniatures and all that sort of thing. And I think, it seems like they're trying to lean into making it a thing of its own, which obviously, that works for some people. But
I think like a big hurdle is a lot of people are just way too intimidated or just like refuse to get into the more mass battle rank and flank games because they're like, look, I only have the time to do a skirmish game, like that's it. But a lot of people don't realize that the combat in Last Argument of Kings actually like flows faster. I find.
Yeah.
And the problem is as well that the skirmish game market is just so saturated with.
Yeah, there's so many.
Like honestly, well look, I'm playing Malifaux on Tuesday. If someone's like, hey Aaron, do you want to play a skirmish game? It's like, well, there's Malifaux, there's Warcrow, which is new, there's Kill Team, Underworld. There's all these really great skirmish games that are older and more established than First Blood, though I don't think there is a single other mass battle game, rank and file game at the moment that is anywhere near as good as Conquest. So yeah, it's like the market they're like winning hands down is definitely the rank and file games. Like I still am yet to see a single game of Old World be played. I know it is. Like I know people play it, but like I haven't seen.
I need to see one played and finished.
Yeah.
It's happening. It's like there are some people doing it, but it's like the top dog is still like 40k. No one can usurp 40k, and then the next most popular in my area is Kill Team. It seems.
Yeah, and I like
There's also
Kill Team,
like
yeah.
there's like a league of 40 people playing Mordheim this spring, and Necromunda, like
Mordheim
20
had a
people.
huge
So.
resurgence, yeah.
Damn.
That's cool.
Sam, what is your bad, not exciting / worst thing in Conquest?
I mean, obviously, I've been listening to all of you guys, and I think at first, if you say what's the worst thing about Conquest, I think, I really just like the game, and so I feel like I had to clutch at straws a little bit, and then I realised, no, I have quite a lot actually, and so I'm going to lean heavily to the
Do you have any gripes?
So lean back, everyone.
Yeah. So the first thing that I'll say is, I write some articles for a website called Goonhammer. And for some reason, I've ended up owning the role of Sam Knows About the Law. And I can't remember who it was. Was it Redbeard? Was saying, it is distributed not in the most sensible fashion. And it's, you have to work pretty hard to kind of dig this stuff up, and you always miss something. So just trying to sort of get into the law can be quite tricky. And so that's a minor gripe of mine, as somebody who sort of enjoys reading that sort of thing. And on the topic of having written stuff, then I want to really mention that we have written a book, and everybody should go and buy the book because it's very good. Just looking around in air on Amazon. And then the other thing that I'll say is there was a release, and maybe it was the new Wadroon release, which happened sort of a couple of weeks after the World Finals. And it seemed pretty obvious that they had been so busy making sure that the finals happened in the way that they should, that they hadn't been concentrating on this release. So they said it was going to come out on one date, and then it didn't. And then when it did come out, it was full of mistakes, and nobody really knew what it was doing. And it was like really obvious stuff.
The Chosen of Death, maybe?
I can't.
Probably the whole update. Like the Wadroon update. There's 5.5 hours of me ranting about it, but it felt unfinished. Like it felt like they were spread pretty thin. It came out shortly after Worlds, and then it's like, well, you added a bunch of chant generation, but there's not a ton of reason to chant on a bunch of stuff, and like the design doesn't feel very coherent, and the internal balance is a little wonky. And Nords came out at about the same time and had a lot of the same issues, where it's like, all right, if you want to play Nords, this is what you play now. And then that got updated just recently, and some of those things that everybody's like, why would I ever take Stalkers? They got a little bit of a buff. Yeah, that sometimes you can very much tell that it's a small team.
Yeah, so I mean it's it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because they're also so responsive that they sort of release something almost knowing, it's 80% done, and then people will pick it up and they'll be open with us, and then we'll edit it on the way back. And I think that was just a little bit of a moment.
I think I actually made the comment about feeling like a beta tester when it dropped. Now that you mention it, because sometimes that is sort of what it feels like. It's like, all right, well, if you want me to play test and you want to do a public beta thing like that, I think that's fine.
There was the kid. There was the CID from Private to Press. Look how well that
here we
went.
go.
I don't think you want that. Yeah, you don't want necessarily that sort of feedback. But and even CID,
I think that they have learned a little bit, and this is going to be the last thing I say because I'm absolutely exhausted and I'm going to go to bed immediately after having said this. The release of the Euroni, it has felt like, from what I can pick up from rumors, I'm not one of the playtesters, it seems to have gone through several months of quite deep playtesting, and they have kept all of the details super secret about what it is, which stands in stark contrast to everything else they've ever done, where it's like, just sit on Discord for long enough and you'll find out what's happening before the official release. So I wonder if they're sort of learning some lessons along the way. But
think the
Yeah,
last,
all of my
like the
YouTube
100K
videos.
update's fantastic too. Like I think they did a great job with this cycle, with the Euroni release, with the 100K update. Like a lot of that stuff didn't come out early, and then you got like 100K seems like there's just a ton you can do. There's a ton of space there. I've seen dozens of wildly different lists that people think are solidly competitively playable, and then Euroni kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody outside of the circle really had any idea of what the faction was, and then there wasn't a lot of talk about the whole "it's only brutes" thing came as a surprise, which was something I think they did a great job of keeping quiet.
Yeah.
No, they did very
Well,
well.
see you later, everyone. I'm going to sleep.
All right,
See you
night.
later.
Have a good one.
All right,
And,
mate.
I will join not Josh and leave as well. So have a great talk. Thanks
you.
for having me.
Thank you for coming.
It was great fun, and
Nice
I
chatting.
invite all of you over to the Field Commanders of Air very soon. So we'll see each other again. Bye bye.
Hey,
Thanks,
Forget
dude.
you
See
read
you
it.
later.
God, do you remember when they tried to make Thunder Riders Defense 4?
I was gonna lose my absolute shit. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna be like, there was gonna be a video of me
24
burning
hours of Thunder
the Crimson
Riders.
Towers in a trash can. I didn't even give a fuck at that point. I was like, fuck you.
So the
Thunder Riders.
funniest thing about that update
There
is
are
that the
guys did that
Thunder
with
Chieftain
old role
is
models.
Defense 4 now.
He kept it.
Yeah, the Thunder
Yeah,
Chieftain
yeah,
kept
yeah.
it. He's still D4.
Yeah.
He's the
You weren't
red.
dueling anyway, so who gives a fuck? His defense could have been 1 and you still wouldn't duel him.
Oh, that's a negative, that dueling is almost a pointless part of the game. I know people disagree, but no one ever really duels.
I'm not a fan of where dueling's at either.
No.
It's really weird because dueling feels either completely pointless or like decides the game.
I think that if you turn down a duel, the duelist should get to make all of their attacks on the unit. That's
I like
Oh.
that.
Just get their, so that what they clash regularly with their 5 attacks, and then you draw into the character who declares a duel, the person denies, and they get an extra 5 attacks until the regiment.
I have
Let
an
me ask you a
opinion.
question about this.
I'll go.
Okay, so I've got a Wing Lord and I declare a duel. Do I get 11 attacks back into your regiment? Are you getting
I don't-
22 attacks out of
Yeah.
a Wing Lord?
Yeah,
Fallen
that
Divinity.
breaks really quickly. I have an opinion that I would like to share, and that opinion is I believe if you refuse a duel in the game, you should then have to have a real life duel instead, which is one you can't refuse. So you think, okay, I want my Biomancer alive, but the guy in front of me is 6'5", and I think I don't fancy this fight. So you go and take him. Do you know what I mean? I think that would make Conquest very fun.
So I'm never gonna beat the allegations of being a Conquest murderer. Is that it?
Yeah, Josh wasn't here for that conversation.
You were here for that, were you?
I think I missed that. Yeah, I've no idea what's going on, but that sounds hilarious.
So Redbeard asked who was the most violent out of all the Conquest creators, and it ended up being me.
The most likely to commit a murder.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, no, I'll kill a man to win a duel.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
You know what? I don't even care if it's a woman. I'll kill her too.
Wow.
I think,
It's gonna,
Don't clip that
gonna
out
have
of
to start
context.
having a.
Oh my god. I think this has already gone horrifically.
I'm great.
Just gonna timestamp that one real quick.
Yeah.
So I will say, I know we've mentioned the 100. Matt, is your next question about the 100 Kingdoms update?
No, my next question is, what thing did each Conquest content creator improve from last year in Conquest? I don't care about your own personal goals, because I've been trying to start a heroin addiction for the last 3 years, and it has not been working.
Mass, I actually have to take off as well before we get too deep into the woods on this one, and I don't leave. So I'm gonna chat as well. Thank you for having me on, like always. You gentlemen have a great evening.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Yeah, that is.
Okay, Aaron, you're up.
So what's the question? Sorry, Max.
What have you improved in your Conquest career since last
What
year?
drugs are you now taking since last year?
Are you on fentanyl?
No, I don't do drugs. I am very boring. I just drink mead.
My drugs are beans on toast.
Exactly, yeah, and heroin. But, so what have I? Honestly, I think I've just generally improved at the game. over the last year, I've been able to play a lot more games online with people, kind of in the run up to UK Games Expo and LGT, and just being able to play more. I think I've just generally improved at the game. There was a very funny interaction I played against. So I played a guy on TTS. We had a practice game, and he just stomped me. I played badly until I made a mistake, lost the game. Then, like 2 days later, I played him at UK Games Expo round 2, and just didn't do that, and so just won that game. And he was, it was like, bloody hell, like you just, I was trying to do the same thing. I was like, yeah, you just don't let your marksman clones get killed, and then you kind of win games. So I think, just be able to play more. I've been able to improve that way, and I guess that's it. I've also built almost 6 boxes of Raiders.
Ooh, nice job.
Oh, yes, all the Raiders.
Josh, what have you most improved upon in Conquest career since last year?
I think my tactical ability has stagnated horrifically. And so I think the crowning moment of that for me was doing quite well at the first. I went 2 for 1 in the first day of LGT. And I was feeling quite good about myself. And the only person I lost to was an Old Dominion player. And at the time, Old Dominion was absolutely broken. And so I didn't feel too bad about that. And then I kind of went into day 2. I think my first game was against Aaron, and he just immediately beat me. I was like, okay.
It was
and then it's very, very kind of you to say. No, I think I'm pretty much this. I'm sure I've gotten a bit better, right? But I feel like maybe I've gotten a bit better at writing lists since last year. But I think I'm just glad at the amount of painting I've been doing. I think is a big thing for me, because normally I'd kind of leave stuff, and now I'm very much like, look, if it's good enough, I'm just going to go for it. Like, I think I can overthink my painting a bit too much and think, oh, look, I've got to have this highlight done perfectly or this thing done perfectly. And actually, if it's like the back of a shield and I'm trying to paint the wood grain of it, I can probably take a step back and go, you know what, no one's going to see that. I can leave that. I think it's just to let me paint more miniatures. So I think that's what I've enjoyed.
No, that's great to hear. I'm glad that you're, like taking those steps back from painting for things that don't really need to be shown, to be honest. I've done on Back to Shields where I'm just like, the primary color, and then you're gonna that's it. Like, I don't need to show the scraps and crap. Yeah,
I'm still horrifically offended by your Hobby War Crimes video, but
don't worry.
That's for another podcast.
It's there will be a second one. I have 100K to paint.
Oh, please don't.
It's just gonna be me at like Home Depot or something in the paint aisle getting free samples.
It was just when you picked up like, hundreds of dollars worth of Lego miniatures in like a bed sheet after you've just primed them and just grabbed them in a bag. I thought I was gonna cry.
Yeah, it was rough.
I did cry.
And it wasn't for Violet Evergarden?
It was.
I did that too. Honestly, very emotional.
Oh, God.
Well, and your 100 Kingdom's going to be worse because you already have a bunch of it that's like painted with a specific scheme. So, like, is it going to be that just mixed in with stuff that's like spray painted from 3 angles and dry brushed?
That, or I'm going to spray paint from 3 angles and dry brush all of it.
Oh my.
All the good 100K's painted stuff is just going to look like ass.
I'm gonna cry.
Which is more than I've got. So.
Yep. We can mock you all we like, Mass, but you have more painted miniatures than the rest of us.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's a cruel irony.
Okay,
I have the exact same problem as Josh does, in that I like painting, but it just takes a long time.
So long.
Josh, we should start a painting hangout.
Oh, yes, let's do it.
Sweet.
Maybe that can be what we do on our Avengers Assemble UK podcast.
It is a date.
Oh. Liam, what's the thing you've improved in your Conquest career since last year?
Well, none. I mean, like in terms of my YouTube or content creator stuff, there's a bit of Conquest related stuff, but most of the stuff I felt like I've improved with has been detached from the YouTube and more and just like focus on being a good vanguard and like keeping the momentum going with the growth here in good old Canada region, and making the server and like getting my first world events happening and helping everyone else getting their first world events happening. And that has been very satisfying and very nice to see. And there's a couple weeks early in 2024 where I like showed up for the weekly game night and like no one else did, and that was like pretty painful, but hasn't happened for a while now. I've got like consistently can like almost every week get at least 2 tables of Conquest going on the weekly game night, and that's I look forward to that every week. And I've just taken a bit of a step not like completely detached myself, but doing less with the YouTube over the last year and a bit because it has not been very rewarding. It's been very frustrating. But a lot of my YouTube content like not usually isn't Conquest related. I try and squeeze in Conquest when I can, but lately that's just been like, well, I have Conquest stuff to paint anyway, so like sometimes I'll live stream. But in terms of like being a vanguard in the community growth, I've put in a lot of effort with that this year, and it has paid off more than I could have hoped for, so that's been great.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I'm glad that you're building the Canadian organized play community, to be honest. That's great, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point I realized it's like, well, if the Conquest scene is going to happen in our region, you just kind of got to make it happen yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'm not alone. Like, I've had lots of help along the way. And, so it's always a group effort. And like I said earlier, my main goal was to get at least one Canadian to go to that little island of Chios. And it looks like that's 99% going to happen. And I think we only need to have one more event as a region before it's like happening for sure. And we're definitely going to have a lot more. My secondary goal for like 20, well, I guess it's kind of for this year. My main goal is to just have GameCon Canada and Edmonton be like a big, fun, exciting tournament, because it's like right at the end of the season, and it's like at a convention that Parabellum has like been at the last couple years, and like I've been running demos there, and so I'm trying to get like Daryl to help us out to just like hype up a big, like Alberta Invitational or Canada like championship. I don't know what we're gonna call it yet, but it'd be cool if like GameCon Canada right at the end of the season is like a big, fun, exciting tournament for the Canada region.
Yeah.
And whoever wins that might just be the person who gets to go to Greece. Right now it's a Michael Stockdale or Ardoon. They're like the top Canadian player because they came in first in my tournament, and then they came in first in Jeff's tournament, and then I just played in a tournament they hosted in January on the 11th. So they got like the same amount of world points as fourth place for that, because that's what happens when you host a tournament. So I think you're like second or third, Mass. I'm not sure. I could just look at the leaderboard right now.
Yeah, but I don't like. I have one event in the US and one event in Canada, so I'm trying to get a couple more Canadian events to participate in.
Yeah, I think if you play in the US events, then you get points for the US region, right?
If a majority of your events are in the US, so I have to.
Oh, okay.
I can only have 2 events out of 5 in the US, and the rest I have to play in Canada.
A lot can happen between now and the end of the season.
Yeah. God,
Mass, you're 5th right now.
Yeah, that's fine. I know, just because of how.
Not that it's a pissing contest.
No, because work gets in the way, and I have to make money to pay my bills.
Either way, I'll be cheering on whichever Canadian makes it to the island.
Mike's in a really good spot, and if he goes, kudos to him. And I'm just glad that a Canadian is going, to be honest.
Yeah, Mike's a great guy. He ran a great tournament up in Edmonton.
Yeah,
and is a great player when it comes to your events.
Yeah, I'm glad. Hopefully him and I get to play at some point, because if Jeff's tournament went on one more round, him and I for sure would be playing to see who takes it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I had more VPs than him, so I'm like, okay, I can do this. No, it'll be good. Also, he's playing like New Wadroon, so that's going to be a tough matchup, but that's fine. You gotta play what's good.
He is collecting Sorcerer Kings, I can tell you that.
That's fine.
Or he's got like a Sorcerer King's army built now. I know that because I delivered a Mahout for him.
The porcelain elephant.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he wanted the official model, but there's like a value village across the parking lot from this gaming store, so I just went in there and grabbed the first porcelain elephant I could find. And thankfully I had a spare monster base, so I just slapped it on there real quick.
There you go.
He still can't tell the difference.
He's like, wow, you painted it for me too? And you're like an amazing painter? This is great. You're like, yep.
Yeah, pro bono.
No, I'm just excited that there's going to be a Canadian seat and that Canada is pushing for it, to be honest. Whoever gets it, like, kudos to them. If it's Mike, good job. If it's someone else, great for them. I'm just glad that Canada has a seat this year. Like, we're pushing to get a Canadian to Greece.
Yeah, and I imagine there's lots of other. Yeah, I imagine there's a lot of other regions that are like feeling similar things to us.
Mm-hmm. But also, it seems like they're raising the player count from 16 to either like 24 or 32. So there's going to be more opportunities for seats as well.
As long as they don't let the Americans and Polish get like way more seats than everyone else.
I think the most they can have is 40% of the seats.
Even that seems like a lot.
So like,
well, I think every region will get one at least.
Yeah.
This time. Yeah.
You'd hope so.
Yeah.
Trying to.
I need to get to more events.
Yeah, we all need to go to more events. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I've got one in March to go to.
So.
And then UKG.
You're not anywhere near Hemel Hempstead, are you?
Where's Hemel Hempstead?
Okay, that's a no.
It's my bad geography.
Okay,
no,
so
there's a thing on tomorrow. I was just going to wonder if you're going to be there, but you're not.
If the US and Poland fill the 40% for both their regions and get 12 seats each, that means there will be 7 seats left. If it's a 30, if it's the size of 32. I also don't think they're going to get the full 12.
No,
yeah, probably not.
So. Yeah, that would be
like, I wouldn't be surprised if there was like 5 or 6 from each going, and then the other. So let's say there's 12. So there's like 20 seats left if they're doing a 32. But I also don't know what the full size is. It might be 24.
No, but that to me as well seems reasonable. Like 6 seats for a region seems fine.
Yeah, and having your 6 top players like that gives plenty of room for those guys to kind of either sneak in or hold on to a spot and get more friends in.
Exactly, yeah.
Because usually the top players are usually friends with each other because they're all working together to be that good. Like, I know at LVO right now, as we're recording, I think it's from yesterday, the top 3 was Carl, Brian, Andrew, and then another gentleman.
Carl was in second because it did make me chuckle.
That's his curse.
Oh, are the results for the LVO tournament out already?
No, that was from yesterday.
Yeah, but will they be out?
Yeah, they're probably like finished. They're probably playing the last round right now, aren't they? Or I don't even know what time it is over there. Probably 3:45 for me now, so I think it's 2:45 for them in the afternoon.
So I know it's Brian, Carl, and some other guy from Michigan, and Dusty. I don't know who Dusty is, but we'll find out. As I'm like scrolling around looking at shit. Okay, here we go. I saw it there. Don't do this to me. Oh my god.
No, but Josh, I do want to come down to a London.
Peter, there we go.
Mate, yeah, that would be cool. I mean, we got loads of Bad Moon tournaments that happen, kind of, I don't know, once every few months. So yeah, definitely when the next one comes about.
I'm going to try and set it up with work so I can be in London for the Friday and then stay over.
Okay.
Oh yeah, nice. That'd be sick.
So should we wrap this up?
Yeah, I gotta go soon.
Okay, well, thank you for joining me and surviving for the next round of podcasters assemble.
Thanks for having me.
The handsomest Conquest players.
Okay.
Oh,
That's right.
Well, yeah, it's the only survivors. I'm gonna use an Age of Ultron meme for this one. Just
Nice, yeah. Second.
I gotta keep
second
going
one.
with the Avengers memes. Okay, well, to close out, we got Aaron from Just Roll Runs, Josh from Josh Around Aya, Liam from Millennial Model Mayhem. We had Apex from Chanting Conquest, Redbeard from Field Commander, not Josh from Josh Around Aya, and Cassandra from BonkTable. So, good group of people for this podcast assembles for this year. So I'm happy, and hopefully next year we can get more. And
Hopefully we will all meet in Greece.
yeah, or that we just do it live.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, you guys won't see me there.
We'll just
Yeah,
we'll
I
do it in
think
the
I'll
I'm just
UK.
not good enough. Yeah.
Josh, we've just got to have like a Rocky style montage on TTS.
No,
Let's play,
Josh.
'cause I need to play more games, Josh.
Da-da-da. Just
we
train
could
me
both
up.
We could both be super good.
Just get
No,
picked.
we're just.
Beat James.
That's it. I
Just
mean,
hold him
my
down.
hopes were on the other Josh, but he couldn't do it this year. So maybe we'll have to take up the mantle ourselves.
Exactly. Me and you can become the best players in England.
Yes, let's do it.
Good.
Right, thank you, Mass. This is great.
No problem. See
Thank
you
you.
guys around. Hopefully, we'll do some more stuff together. Either hop on each other's podcasts and such.
So, I mean, I know it's still recording, but just a quick idea I had. We could have a content creators TTS tournament,
Oh God.
and we could stream all the games, and then you and Cass could give your your commentary over that.
That would be pretty good.
It'll give me the drive to actually learn how to play it on TTS
gonna
because I
say,
still haven't.
I don't. I hate
Aaron, you're
TTS.
gonna have to teach me.
That's fine. Yeah. If we want to put a date, and I can show you how to use TTS.
Legends, yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I hope everyone has a great day, and we'll see you around.
See you
Bye.
later.
Bye.